What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And, of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us anywhere and everywhere at My Cowboys Family. And, of course, hop in the Discord. Link for that's in the description box down below.
That's right, family. We're ready for another day of free agency frenzy? Question mark. As you can see, I took it off our board because I was only the first couple of days and we were not involved. But hey, our frenzy started yesterday with the man here in the middle of your screen, Eric Kendricks, now a Cowboy. We got a couple other Cowboys staying a Cowboy. You see a little preview right there on the right. Zimmer's happy. And Stephen Jones spoke a lot about what the all-in is officially. Wait till you hear that. But yes, a lot of good information tonight. Stay tuned. You're not gonna want to go. Hopefully a little shorter than last night's 2.5 hours. This might be an hour and 45, or an hour and a half. So stay tuned. It's gonna be great. Want to hear from you guys. But first, let's open up with the people that represent our boards here on My Cowboys Family. For this week, the champions, and there's multiple different names, like the sponsor of the week, Jeremy Bramlett, the OG, part of the fam here at MCF. For like 5.5 out of our 6 years. So much love to him. Jeremy Bramlett, appreciate you. And then you see the man McLovin, the Cash App King. Not 1, 2, 3, 5 weeks in a row. Will they go for 6? We'll discuss that in a minute. We got the man from Hawaii, Mark Hovsepian, with 95 points on the Stream Boss. He took that over last night.
A big mahalo to him.
Yes, and that's not all he took over. When you look at the overall, not the overall board, let me go to the gifting board. The gifting membership board. Jeremy Bramlett, he's got half of the board representation here because he's got the sponsor of the week and he's also with the gifting leader. He's a gifting king. One of the best ways to drop a little love here in MCF, but also give back to the family in the chat that don't have the opportunity to drop the emojis and get involved in the other perks that our memberships have. So a great thing there. He dropped 10 last week. He's the king, Jeremy Bramlett, and the sponsor of the week. But this week could change things, guys. Because right now we have one gifted membership, and that's from Jason Renfro. You have to love the Jason Renfro, who gifted one membership and is the current leader on that side of the board. You got the Cash App side, which McLovin, oh, you know it. He's trying to go for 6 in a row. He is currently in the lead there at the top of the Cash App board. So he might get a month and a half of domination, possibly. We'll find out Friday night officially, but then you look at the overall board, which, of course, Jeremy Bramlett's there. Broke McLovin's streak. But right now, as we speak, there's actually somebody else who jumped in front, and it's the man that controls the Stream Boss, Mark Hovsepian, who's just inching over McLovin for the top spot on the overall board. So McLovin in second, Death Fool in there, a couple others on the top of this board. McLovin, so close to the top, not there. Mr. Bramlett took him over last week. This week, it is currently Mark Hovsepian, and he's the one that runs the sponsor of the week record with 15 in a row. So all the shout-outs had to be done, and now they're done. But there's a lot of ways to drop the love and support the channel, whether it's in the super chat, as you can see. It's been dropped in there. We had Dwayne Brassard with a pre-stream drop and a huge Go Cowboys with a $4 DAC drop. So much love to him. That's a super chat. You got
have some QB representation.
Hell yeah. You got the thanks button, which is after a video post, you can drop love through there, when we're not live. And then you also have memberships. You can jump in those yourself and jump into the membership. You can also gift memberships. But there's 4 other ways you can adjust, not just the overall sponsor of the week board, the leaderboard, but also the top of the Cash App board. So how do people challenge McLovin and others for that top spot, baby?
You have, of course, the Cash App money sign My Cowboys Family. There's a super chat by Mr. Jason Renfro. Thank you very much. That $2.47 holler. Go Cowboys.
Oh, I see it there, yes. And a Go Cowboys from the man Jason Renfro. He's trickling up the board.
Yeah, but like we said, that's a super chat flex. The Cash App, like you said, Cash App. You have the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, the PayPal link, the Streamlabs link, which lets you share your comment on screen just like a super chat. And I think there's like gifts and other things like that too. So, but thank you again, Jason. Appreciate you, Mr. Mark Hovsepian, down to 93 points. And I do see what's coming next. So let's see exactly how it ends up, falling out.
I see Jason Renfro with another $3 holler. Just right there, following up his other 247. There it is. Oh, and then there's the Mark Hovsepian intro drop. a $2. And I'm going to say this, all these drops, I mean, you got a $3 holler, Brandon Cooks, you got a $2.40, whatever it was. But then you got a $2 holler here from Marco Sepien. I want to hear what everybody said, but I want to remind everybody, we get to keep saying a J-Lew $2 holler now.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey.
So go ahead, read them out, baby.
He said, aloha. Fuck Jerry Jones and Son. I can't stand hearing them.
Oh, you're not going to hear, you're going to hear us speaking for them and what they said, but yeah, I don't know if you're going to like what they say, but hey, they're going to at least say the truth that we've already been kind of highlighting for you guys before today. So now it's just verified.
Look,
verification.
I don't like defending Steven. But even in Steven's defense, he can't control what the heck Jerry says. He's not the one that told Jerry Jones to start spitting all in out there into the universe. So
that's a good point.
So he's just kind of been, on the reactionary side of things, trying to
study the ship.
Yeah, and I also admit that Steven plays his cards a little closer to the vest and doesn't like to speak too much about a lot of.
We know that he has less risk factors with him. We know that.
I know, but the reason I say that is that's maybe why we got such a non-answer the first time he commented on Jerry's all-in comment. So, anyway, we'll hear all of that in depth here in just a minute. Of course, I have to give the shout-outs first.
Well, I just want to say, Jason Renfro, I know he had 2 drops, right?
Yeah, they both were Cowboys.
They both were Go Cowboys. And I see it coming around the corner on my side, a $1 holler. And I Go Cowboys here. Much love to the man, Jason Renfro. As I do I'm checking I'm checking the numbers, my accounting books here, and making sure that Jason Renfro is, still not, he definitely just jumped up over somebody else, which, by the way, I did want to shout out, jumping into membership, Andy Potch.
Ooh.
Who's up on this board. And the reason I'm mentioning him now, because his star level has dropped today. And so he's there in 6th place until Jason Renfro's multiple drops. In fact, that one puts him over Darren Posey and right behind Stanley Smith. So Jason Renfro up to 6th place on the overall board. Darren goes to 7th. Stanley Smith is in 5th. Marissa in 4th.
Jason Renfro
Deadpool and McLovin tied for 2nd. And Marco Sepien still in 1st place on the overall board. Okay, I'm sorry.
Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys.
Thank you so much, Jason, with the $1 holler there as well.
Yes. So we got through all the ways of dropping the love here. Of course, we also got to do the shout out side of things, not just in the chat,
which we'll do here in a second.
But you see the star level and over everything level. They get nightly shout outs here. If you're in either of those levels, that is one of the many perks you have here in MCF. So yes, there's also that monthly jersey raffle, sewn and stitched Cowboys Mosh. About 40 different jerseys to pick from. They're fantastic. We have about 35 of different jerseys. But not only do the star and over everything level members get in this raffle at the end of March, but the weekly winners also get put in here with a raffle entry. If you are a 4-time weekly winner for the whole month, you get 4. If you win it twice, you get 2 times. You get 2 raffles in there, which ups your chances to maybe win one of these sewn and stitched jerseys. So we'll have to wait and see. But we also got a shout out. Dustin Roberts back in the membership. Why is that?
Because Jason Renfro
Hell
shared that gift. Thank you so much, Jason. Appreciate you gifting that membership there. Drop them if you got them, guys. And I'll drop the link here in a second if you want to add the option to be able to get a gifted membership. So, because YouTube has it a little weird, you actually have to turn on and accept.
Yeah. Hit the accept gifted membership. So yeah, there's a way of doing that. We'll drop that information in a minute. You can do exclamation point gifts, and you'll find out how. But Jason now up in 5th place, jumping over Stanley Smith with that and that gifted membership, which by the way he also puts 2 on the overall board for his gifting side. He's still in 1st place, of course, all by himself with 2 gifted memberships. That's safety. That's not that much. Sometimes somebody just comes in and drops 10 on it. Like our man did, Jeremy Bramlett, last week. You never know. That lead is safe for now. But let's also do the nightly shout-outs for those that rep in that star. We have we have the navy blue and the silver, too. But then, and that's for Friday. We'll do the silver. But on every night, we do the star and over everything level shout-outs.
Thank you very much to Skeptical Fan, Jason Renfro, Lincoln Kane, Andy Potch, Dwayne Broussard, The Lunatic, and over everything.
Woo.
Seabass.
I just heard from Mr. Seabass recently.
That's right.
What a great show. I got a lot of great reviews, a lot of great stuff that they liked what he said and his 2 cents. So did I. Not only did the fans like it, I liked it too. Who's in the house tonight ready to shout out and talk some Dallas Cowboy news, info, and updates?
Thank you to Cleveland Brown.
In the house.
Exactly. All in just means all in on doing what we did before, right? Brandon James, what's up?
You're going to hear it straight out of Stephen Jones' mouth.
Chalk Time on 10-808, dropping those emojis there. Matt Batten, much love. Thanks for being here tonight.
Matt.
Drums and Cowboys said, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but many times we get hyped about big free agents like Derrick Henry. But I never heard Stephen Jones say we were getting him, but the Joneses still suck, though. LOL. So, again, it's more about the
effort.
Dreams of the fan base, but overall it's more the fact that you could put the most perfect free agent right in front of the Cowboys and our interest level is going to be just the same as a guy that we don't give two shits about. Anyway.
Well, they'll hop them up for us. Anyway. Don't worry.
Jason Renfro, shout out to you. Of course, we have Juan Carlos representing Thomas Garrett, the superior Garrett. Robert Jackson, much love. Yeah, definitely going to talk about that as well. Daniel Berry Sports, hello and hi. Of course, mahalo. Mark Hosepian, Griff 181, peace to you. Bruce got the toxic juice, said Stephen Jones is all in on church bingo and potlucks. So, Texas Twister, yes, the midnight show for the Central Time Zone there.
Oh, yeah, we're rolling.
Dwayne Broussard, the top dog himself.
Hell yeah.
We have Kelvin Hicks in the house, what's up? Eric Wallace, have a great night, take it easy. Leaside Harold here to talk about the real football team that runs through his mind day and night.
Dallas Cowboys.
Chris Davis, what's up? I know I saw McLovin saying, is this where all the cool kids hang out?
It is where the cool kids. And listen, we even allow a Dolphin fan or two in here, you know what I mean? Oh, Jason Renfro with that 260. I was about to shout him out. Dropping that 260 in the super chat. What did he have to say?
Go Cowboys.
No, he said, go Cowboys. Appreciate you, Jason. And again, now he's really solidified into that spot behind Marissa Sparkle in 4th place because those next... or in 3rd place, I think 5th place. He's right there right now. Mm-hmm. These top 5 board, that's the tough part of the mountain climb, because Marissa is a little bit in front of Jason, but everyone's catchable here. We'll see what happens now. As we get rolling into things,
let's dive head first into this Cowboy news.
Well, let's start with some crazy ass news. Yeah, crazy ass NFL news. Continuing the issue that maybe is wrong with Aaron Rodgers' brain. I don't know, but today, he was called out on multiple news stations about his comments about Sandy Hook being fake. It was a government plot, and also about AIDS being a government plot, a pandemic from the government. That's some crazy ass shit. Look, today he posted, quote, "As I'm on the record saying in the past, what happened in Sandy Hook was an absolute tragedy. I have never been of the opinion that the events did not take place. Again, I hope that we learn from this and other tragedies to identify the signs that will allow us to prevent unnecessary loss of life. My thoughts and prayers continue to remain with the families affected, along with the entire Sandy Hook community." That was his comment today, trying to, again, maybe going for a vice presidential run with Robert Kennedy Jr. I don't know.
That statement definitely sounds a lot more
political,
politically minded than it does football PR image minded. So just a little bizarre. Yeah, throwing that out there.
Call it how you guys want to on that. Now, moving on from the crazy Aaron Rodgers situation and more into the NFL free agency, the NFL is looking into potential tampering by the Eagles with the Saquon Barkley situation because they spoke to him directly, Howie Roseman. That's the allegation. They saying it didn't happen, the Eagles. Well, they're investigating that, and they're also looking into tampering between the Falcons as well. Not sure about which player, but it might be Kirk Cousins. I don't know, but the Falcons and the Eagles both supposedly are alleged to contacted the player that they wanted to get and bring in, but in person rather than, there's our dog going crazy, rather than the talking to the agent or talking to the agent and also talking to the player. Either way, you can lose draft picks for that. We shall see what the NFL finds out. And we got to talk about our running back situation. We'll touch on that tonight because nothing really much happened there. In fact, there's more options lost. But Tony Pollard, who of course signed with Tennessee, 3-year deal. It's really a 2-year, $14.5 million deal. But Derrick Henry, who signed with the Ravens, said on the Mad Dog radio show that the Dallas Cowboys never, ever even reached out to him. So they didn't care about Pollard. They didn't care about Derrick Henry. What Derrick Henry said on the radio show was, quote, "The Cowboys never called at all. That's where I stay in the offseason in Dallas. I'm kind of on the back end of my career. That's a great organization. It would have been a great opportunity, but I'm thankful that I ended up here in Baltimore." I just want to add one last thing. Didn't really make a difference what the Joneses did or didn't do. Derrick Henry got, what, like $8 million a year? There is no way in hell the Cowboys were going to pay any money for Derrick Henry. So not that kind of money. If Derrick Henry was $4 million, the Cowboys might be interested. Maybe. They barely were interested in Zach Moss for $4 million. But Derrick Henry, they might have paid the $4 million for him. He wanted 8. He got 8. So, bye-bye Derrick Henry. Don't really give a shit about him. Plays for the Baltimore Ravens. Good luck, I guess. And unless we play them, let's kick their ass. But either way, that's kind of the end of that story there. Just for our own knowledge, the important part is we, as in not me and you, baby, but the Dallas Cowboy organization, the front office, specifically Jerry and Stephen Jones, never even reached out to Derrick Henry. Not even giving a shit. They were waiting for calls from running backs. They were not making any calls to any running backs, including Henry. So, anyway,
so then there you go. That lets us know what the Cowboys are going to do, right, Jason?
We're going to find out some more, too, because Stephen Jones literally says it himself. But yes.
Thank you, Jason Renfro, with the dollar holler. Another Go Cowboys here.
Go Cowboys.
Appreciate you, of course.
Now let's roll right into the NFL portion. I'm not going to go through all the names because now they're getting lesser names, but I'm going to definitely touch on the important Cowboys-centric ones. Running back. We just talked about this, right? Running back, Pollard didn't talk. They didn't even talk to Derrick Henry. What about the guy we have in our sights yesterday? Running back.
Slater was the one who said it.
Yeah, we're cooking with A.J. Dillon, right? Running back from the Packers. What is happening? He's expected, it hasn't been official yet, he's expected to re-sign with the Green Bay Packers. After they were supposedly done with him, they're getting him back, pending a physical. Here's the crazy thing, and it's going to be relevant for the Cowboys and Jordan Lewis in a moment. But the Green Bay used a rare 4-year qualifying offer on A.J. Dillon to keep him and re-signing him with the past physical. If he passes physical, he is staying in Green Bay.
Okay.
We'll talk about that in a minute. But the Cowboys had interest. The search for Tony Pollard's replacement continues. There's still a couple of names. I'll throw one out now. A lightly used Clyde Edwards-Helaire from the Chiefs. Right? He's available out there.
What are the Carfax?
Well, the thing is, he's had a great first year. But he had, kind of off and on kind of years. They used McKinnon. They used other guys. Andy Reid couldn't get the most out of him. That's the big concern. But maybe he just needed the right scheme, the right fit. Maybe not so much usage from McKinnon and others. I don't know.
It's hard to think of a better offensive scheme than Kansas City, though. So that's the part where
and that's what people are saying.
People have a point.
Yeah, I mean, that's what people are saying. They're like, do we really want to, if Andy Reid couldn't do it with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, then you got to risk on him for like $2 million maybe. Maybe the Cowboys will do it. Jason Renfro dropping that dollar holla. Let me guess. There go Cowboys from him. Yes. And I see also another drop that went through from the man, Mark Hovsepian.
Yes, it actually ended up, Jason's drop ended up blocking out
boxing him
Mark's
out.
Drop there.
So what did Mark Hovsepian say with that 5 on it?
He said, politically correct by Henry. If Pollard is worth $10 million, Henry is worth $8 million. Jerry believes Davis and Vaughn will be just fine. Fucking clown show.
They can't. They just can't.
No,
listen, they looked at Zach Moss. They looked at A.J. Dillon. At least they know they need something.
Yeah.
Can't go what we have.
Based off of the comments that Stephen Jones made and based off of the evidence we have on running backs and free agency and what our Cowboys did or didn't do, the questions they did or didn't ask, I am willing to bet my money that we're going to draft one. Like, the missing piece is somewhere in our draft. That's our move. That's our intention. So, of course, right now, Davis and Vaughn aren't enough. But I have to admit, I'm still concerned about the Cowboys' maybe thought process on, we'll get a guy in the draft, and then Davis and Vaughn are enough.
Listen.
You get what I'm trying to say?
I hear you. But this is crazy talk.
But
let me explain why it's crazy talk.
It feels like...
This is crazy talk. Let me explain why. No, not what you're saying. But... we cannot go into... Let me just say this very clearly. The Dallas Cowboys absolutely cannot go into this draft in a month and a half from now without a running back on this roster. And we don't have a running back on this roster. Even Rico Dowdle would count as someone. We don't have Rico Dowdle. He's a free agent. We have Deuce Vaughn. That does not count. Expect him to be cut or after, or practice squatted after the training camp. Forget about Malik Davis. He already is practice squad. Hunter Lipke's just a fullback, and we don't know if he's any good at all. Honestly, he probably isn't. So we have no running backs on this team. We go into the draft and we're telling everyone, we're going to draft a running back. It's so stupid to at least not go in there with something. You want to go for a $3 million, $2 million guy? Let me just say this. No, A.J. Dillon seems to be off the board, but Clyde Edwards-Helaire, we get him in a rookie. I can just live with that already at this point. You know what I mean? But we have to get one of these guys. It doesn't have to be a name. It has to be somebody that's good enough. A.J. Dillon was good enough. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I think, is good enough. I think that you can get a guy, to me, outside of his injury issues, splitting time with a rookie, someone like J.K. Dobbins. High upside, but has that injury issue. He's still available out there. Kareem Hunt, who can give you just enough. He's just giving you enough. We talk about guys that give you enough. These guys will be out there for $2 million. That's what the Cowboys are probably waiting for. They're waiting for the $2 million, that salary, that veteran-based salary. Remember we talked about that yesterday? That's what the Cowboys are waiting for, I'm telling you. So, to me, the only guys that are really left now are Rico Dowdle, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, J.K. Dobbins, Kareem Hunt, and any of those guys. I don't give a shit anymore. Get one of those guys and draft another guy in the second day of the draft, round 3 of the draft. That's the way the Cowboys are going to break this down, in my opinion. We'll have to wait and see what they do. I don't mind getting back Rico Dowdle and then bringing back Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I mean, bringing back Rico Dowdle and then bringing in J.K. Dobbins or Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Robert said, what about Foreman from Chicago?
Deontay Foreman's another guy. At this point, take any of these guys. Deontay Foreman can be a hard-nosed inside-the-box run, inside-the-tackle runner. Then you can concentrate on a scat back, a speedier guy in the draft. But we got to figure it out now. We can't wait and just draft the guy and then use him with Deuce Vaughn. That's just insanity. So we have to bring a guy now in, whether it's Rico Dowdle with a rookie, and that's the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Or you're going with, because to me then we're going down at running back. If we get Rico and then a rookie, we're going down backwards. Then with Pollard at running back. So we want to make sure we get better there. So you got to give me a second guy who's better than, let's say, Rico Dowdle, J.K. Dobbins, Kareem Hunt, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and then you give me that rookie that's going to be the number one. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, that's the 1-2 punch. You want to upgrade that. You don't want to downgrade that. You get Rico Dowdle and a rookie, you're downgrading that.
I don't disagree with you. I just think that the Cowboys are not going to do that.
Well, they got to do something. They got to get a running back before the draft. They got to. In my opinion, if they don't, it's extra clown show shit sprinkled on top. That'd be amazing to me if they do that dumb of a fucking move.
Yeah.
Because that's just a king dumb move right there, in my opinion. And I really, it's just common sense wise. You just can't go into the draft without a running back. Because trust me, no one believes Deuce Vaughn and Hunter Lipke are running backs for the Cowboy team this year. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you got to go in there with a notable running back.
I know, but I don't think the Cowboys necessarily mind not being subtle about their running back plans just because, again,
for the draft.
Consider the running back market, though. Like, what running back is really going to get stolen out from under them?
If you I'm not worried about free agency. I'm worried about the draft.
I just said.
Yeah, and if a team is even looking for any kind of running back and they're drafting in the 3rd round in front of us, they know we're going running back. They will take a running back right under our noses. It's happened before at tight end. It's happened before at other positions, at safety, and every team does it to us. I don't want to risk it. Hell no.
The Cowboys feel that position is deep enough that, maybe they lose their first guy. They're going to get their second guy. They're still going to get a guy they like.
And that's close. Instead of getting the guy that's good, they're going to get one of the guys they like. You know what that's called? Mark knows. He just dropped a 5 on it. It's called clown show. It's a fucking clown show if they do that. Sorry, go ahead, baby. What did Mr. Mark say? To
improve your team, you replace guys that left a better place.
Thank you.
They don't need to be Pro Bowlers, and none of those players are better than Pollard.
I agree. But we need someone better than Rico Dowdle. You hear me? You feel me, Mark? So to me, if you're getting one of the top running, there's 2 top running backs in the 3rd round. Probably be drafted then. If you get one of those 2 guys, match them up with a Clyde Edwards-Helaire or J.K. Dobbins, that's an improvement, I believe, because you're getting the number 1 running back, let's say in the draft, which let's just say is equal to Pollard, and then you're getting an upgrade with your second running back from Rico Dowdle to a Clyde Edwards-Helaire, J.K. Dobbins. You guys feel me? I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but I think, is a slight upgrade. At least that'd be a positive. But outside of that, there is no other upgrading. Now, there is one other name. I'm going to throw a couple names in there. One of them is Ezekiel Elliott. That is now supposedly catching a little wind there.
I said this yesterday.
If he's our number 2, that's an upgrade.
And repeat it. I could see Ezekiel happening at the drop of a hat. We know the relationship that he has with this front office. So I'm just saying that until he ends up somewhere expect that to be like a background kind of like, thing.
Floating around.
But if it happens, if the Cowboys choose to do it, it's going to be one of those things. Like you say, we need to get a running back before the draft. Watch it happen like 2 days before the draft. We sign Zeke for like some cheap ass deal or something. I'm just saying, like, that's... And I'm not necessarily saying I agree with that move or not. I'm just saying that I can see the Cowboys doing it.
That's something the Cowboys... Even doing it that close would be a mistake. But the thing is, let me just talk about the Zeke thing real quick. There's a report out right now, came out a couple hours ago, that 3-time Pro Bowl running back Ezekiel Elliott and his agent, Rocky Arsenault, have had preliminary discussions about a potential return to the Dallas Cowboys. Now, this may be true, it may not be true, but I'm hearing this guy, Ernie the Cowboys fan. This guy's out there, everyone hates him because he's a spreader of lies. He tries to be a media guy, but he's stealing lies and starts rumors, and then other people pick it up. So, like other places, MLF football, they ran with this. They are pushing that fact that, basically Zeke and the Cowboys are talking. I would not believe this until a major source actually grabs it and they do more investigation on this, because right now I don't believe that's the case. So don't get your hopes high. We're getting Zeke back. But I do think that, again, whether it's true or not, this could be a fake article, probably is. This Ernie the Cowboys fan is tricking people on Twitter and other places. But the bigger deal is this for me when it comes to this Zeke situation. If it comes down to Zeke, and I don't want this, if it comes down, I'd rather have Kareem Hunt. I'd rather have J.K. Dobbins. I'd rather have Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Okay, but we can pay Zeke like $1.5 million.
In
the sense of that Jerry's already salivating.
What I think the Cowboys are doing, I think what the Cowboys are thinking is if all those guys I just mentioned are gone, then the Cowboys will probably, always know they have Zeke for like the minimum, right? The $1.5 million or 1.2, whatever it is. But I think they'd rather get any of those guys I named if they fall low enough to that number that would give Zeke. They would take these guys over Zeke. That's my opinion. Zeke is like the last resort.
I'll agree with you there. Basically,
and only is our number.
He's a safety score.
Yeah, he's a safety net, and he is an upgrade to some. Again, is he an upgrade? I guess I don't know. I think he's an upgrade at short yardage with Rico Dowdle, for example.
That's the thing I wanted to mention when you mentioned the whole Tony Pollard and upgrade, because I don't know if I necessarily would call some of these moves an upgrade from Tony Pollard. They're just different styles of running back. They help us on one side of the run game. But we do lose a little something on the other side. But like I said, what we're trying to do at the run game, it seems like to me, is get that kind of short yardage, ground and pound type of guy.
Yeah,
the agility guys and all that other stuff. I have to be honest, the way our offense runs, you could replace that with a, Turpin-esque receiver. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean,
in the sense that remember, the way that we ran the ball in general, and I'm going to read Mark's comment here in just a minute, a lot of those speed situations, it wasn't really Pollard doing them. It was CeeDee Lamb or Turpin or, some other kind of move like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So it's the kind of running back you want to use on an all-time basis.
Yeah, but what we were missing was the ground and pound.
Right.
So if you get that, you can still have, fine, whatever, you'll have other running backs. That's not my point. I'm just saying that speed that you lose, that kind of finesse that you lose by moving on from Pollard, you can get that from one of your, your 5th, 6th, 7th receiver, even if
at worst,
you feel like keeping many on the team.
I also think you can get that in the NFL draft. There's those kinds of running backs. But you don't have a guaranteed ground and pound guy in the draft. So that's why you grab a ground and pound guy who's better than Pollard. I would still grab Pollard too and throw him in the mix as a third guy and change it up. But
Let me read Mark's comment here, because he said people need to stop with Zeke. He's done. Lipke will always give you 3.5 yards per carry as Zeke did, and he's done. The point is, we don't have enough picks to cover all the holes.
I agree there.
I know, but like I said, when it comes to running back specifically, and this is where Seabass actually made a great point, that basically with all the moves that other teams made in free agency, this means that the draft board has obviously shifted a little bit as teams prioritize some positions and lower others.
Right.
So
I agree, and it means that the more running backs might be available.
I'm
is
generally not worried at the running back depth. That's what I'm saying. Like, someone's going to be there that the Cowboys like that's probably going to be able to do what we want him to do. It might not be our first choice, might be our second choice. I don't think it's going to go deeper than that at that point.
The thing is, when it comes to
I can't see that happening.
When it comes to this draft, I think you have to look at the fact that it's not deep at the top, but you can get Jonathan Brooks. There's another guy right behind him. Then you can get a guy, like you can get what's his name? Damn, I forgot, from Kentucky. A guy, Davis is his name on it, but he's a guy in there you can grab in the 5th round. You can grab guys later on like a Frank Gore Jr. that do the speedier kind of faster things. That it's deep in that way, but not deep at the top. There's no real great running back here. So Cowboys, I think, with the 7 draft picks we have, I think the Cowboys are just going to try to, get that running back, another running back piece there, in the 3rd round. There's no 4th rounder, and if they don't get in the 3rd round, I think 5th round, 6th round. I mean, you got a lot of choices there at that level. But then you're thinking, okay, Deuce Vaughn again, right? Well, in the reality, the Cowboys made a mistake with Deuce Vaughn. Be honest, and again, now they're gonna have to pick someone to replace that pick. Which, if it's in the 5th or 6th round, except the Frank Gore Jr., someone like that.
Okay,
anyway.
I'm not gonna split straws here with the Vaughn pick just because it was a 6th round pick.
There were some starters though in that 6th round there.
Okay,
at running back.
There's no way of knowing that. And remember, at the time, McCarthy is the one that made the call at the end of the day. He said, "I think we can use him." They couldn't. Okay. That's it. Just it didn't work out.
Well. Shall I continue, my love?
I'll allow it.
Okay, so back to the NFL kind of news here, and we'll get to Cowboys because there's only a couple of quick major ones I want to discuss. On offense, I already said Dillon, he looks like he's going to Green Bay and re-signing there on that weird 4-year option, which the Cowboys, I'll tell you what happened here in a minute, but then also the Commanders are sending last year's starting quarterback, Sam Howell, to the Seattle Seahawks. In a pick swap. The Seahawks are receiving Sam Howell, quarterback, a 4th round pick, and a 6th round pick. The Commanders are getting a 3rd round pick and a 5th round pick. So there you go. Commanders trying to, Dan Quinn trying to stack some picks and get rid of Sam Howell. So there you go, done. Also, the Commanders' former wide receiver, Curtis Samuel, one of their, touchdown leader, I think, for them this last year, signing a 3-year, $24 million deal. Worth up to $30 million, including $15 million in guaranteed money with the Buffalo Bills. They replaced Gabe Davis with Curtis Samuel. Mm-hmm. Now, Cardinals, they're sending wide receiver Rondell Moore to the Falcons in a rare player-for-player exchange. Yeah. Receiver Rondell Moore going to the Falcons. The Cardinals are getting Desmond Ridder at quarterback. Interesting move there.
So just like an even trade?
Yeah, even trade. That's it. Yep. And after the trade of Joe Mixon yesterday, running back, from the Bengals to the Texans, Joe Mixon now redid his contract there and signed a 3-year, $27 million extension that includes $13 million guaranteed,
there you go.
$25.5 million base, 3-year deal, not an extension. I guess it's not really an extension. It's more of a redoing of the deal. Basically has a $1.5 million upside and $10 million cash flow in year 1. The point here is, we were talking about maybe him coming to Dallas. Too much money for old Stephen Jones. All right? That was 3-year, $27 million. That ain't happening in Dallas for a running back. That's just not happening for any running back. What about other moves in the NFL? Well, a receiver again, Keenan Allen, traded to the Bears. Yeah, the Bears are stocking up. They're getting Keenan Allen for a 4th round pick. So, again, we had Brandon Cooks for a 5th rounder, right?
Yeah.
For a 4th rounder, they got Keenan Allen. They got to pay his money, though, right? Chargers approached Keenan Allen about a pay cut earlier today.
Okay.
He declined. The team,
of course.
Then the Chargers said, peace, see you later, and dealt him to the Bears as the Bears load up. A wild offseason for Chicago. But the key here is they got rid of a couple of guys already, Mike Williams and now Keenan Allen, 2 receivers. They kept both their pass rushers, Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. Very interesting kind of the way those moves are going on there.
Well, I think it's more interesting to see teams valuing defensive players over offensive players in a way, just because that, tends to go the other way, usually, in my personal, slightly biased opinion. No, I'm just saying, I admit that, maybe it's just because it sticks out a little more in my mind.
Well,
so,
you know what sticks out in my mind?
I don't have, stats in front of me proving that.
You know what sticks out in my mind?
What?
Stanley Smith dropping a $6 a holler in the Cash App.
Stanley.
I think he's currently third on that board, if I'm not mistaken, and on the Cash App board, and he's moving up on the other board as well.
Did he have anything to say?
You know it. Go Cowboys.
Woo.
Appreciate you, Stanley Smith, in the house. Dropping in the Cash App side, even though there's a couple people in front of him, he's still rolling up the board. So, again, big thanks to Stanley Smith. Appreciate you, man. Now, as I'm continuing here, another weapon for Patrick Mahomes. Former Ravens, former Cardinal wide receiver Marquise Hollywood Brown, signing to a 1-year deal with the Chiefs. He agreed. To me, this is a steal for them. The Chiefs agreed to terms with Hollywood Brown on a 1-year deal, $7 million deal with up to $11 million in incentives.
Okay.
To me, that's a good deal. I mean, he's giving $7 million for a pretty good receiver in that offensive scheme with Patrick Mahomes. Probably is going to work out. You know, so else is working out. Mark Hovsepian dropping that 5 on it.
Worked out.
What did the man say?
Oh, he said, as if we can get a 6th round running back better than Pollard. Our scheme sucked. Coach screwed that up with new hires as he did Nolan. Armstrong's okay, but Sam to replace him? So, and Mark, again, maybe Mr. MCF, misspoke or was like misconstrued or something. But at least I can't, we're going, I would say 2nd or 3rd round for running back. Maybe 4th round at the latest. But considering how much we have not invested at the running back position and we actually do need a starter, I feel like the 3rd round is the latest you can go for one.
Well, here's the thing.
Starter in loose terms.
I want to explain this very clearly. First round there will be no running backs drafted. You guys feel me? There's not a good enough running back to be drafted in the first round. The 2nd round, probably no running backs other than Jonathan Brooks from Texas Longhorns, who got injured. He got an MCL tear. He's not going to be ready until training camp. So they're predicting him in the 3rd round somewhere. There's another guy right behind him. I'm talking about the 78th and 79th picks projection are these 2 running backs. So the earliest to take a running back, baby, in my opinion, is not with Seabass in the house, but it is in the 3rd round. 3rd round is starter. All right? We don't have a 4th round pick. 5th rounder, you got guys like Davis from, what is his name? Davis from Kentucky. And in the 6th round, and that's a 5th round, and that's a starter type, a scat back type, not a power guy. A guy that could be better than Pollard, I believe. Not right now, but has that window of potential. I think Frank Gore Jr. has an upside as well. But no, he's not better. Neither guy is better immediately than Pollard. The key is, who are you teaming him up with? If he's the only guy when we're in trouble, then it's a bad situation. But if we have Clyde Edwards-Helaire, if we have J.K. Dobbins, if we have Kareem Hunt, I don't like Zeke. I'm just saying, but we have to have another guy in there that's going to do the power stuff to get these guys and then it makes a little more sense as a team, as a tandem. That would make more sense to get, if not the 3rd round guy, which is the top running backs, 5th round guy, it would be a viable piece. It would work with the right match. Both guys would have to have a match in free agency. There's not many choices left. And yes, Seabass over everything with his monthly message. What did the man say?
That's right, 9 months. And I know it's been longer than 9 months. Remember when YouTube had that
it went
dumb
down.
Shit last year? A lot of people's got reset or redone, unfortunately. But he said, blessed mi familia, 50K milestone. Let's get it for them.
Let's go.
Hit that like, sub it up, donate at your discretion, show that consideration and appreciation, and let's get motherfucking 6.
Yeah.
Got it? Bet. Dallas Cowboys for life.
SOB TCB.
I don't know that one.
2024.
What's that? Son of a bitch.
I don't know. They have to break it down for us. Appreciate you, Seabass, no matter what, though.
Tejano Cowboys? I don't know. I tried to.
I know it's been 3 years, right?
Stand on business and take care of business.
Hell yeah, 2024.
2024.
That's what we need to do. But this team needs to do that and get that 6
Right
and
now
beyond,
we're sitting on business.
Yeah, right now we're sleeping on business. So appreciate you, Seabass, always over everything on here and the membership side, and can't wait to hear from him after this free agency. This is going to be interesting. After this free agency, these lack of moves, I can't wait to see what happens in the end of March when we bring him in for another discussion with Mr. Seabass.
Good summary point there, Drums and Cowboys. He said, right now it's a shit show in Dallas because we're going into the season with coaches on 1-year contracts.
Yep.
None of our key players extended. 16 departures with our hope being rookies from the draft.
Well, again, there was, I think, 15, 16 guys that are free agents. Some of them brought back. And yes, they are coaches. And so far, the players that we re-signed, 1-year deals. So everyone's kind of, this is a big coming to an end situation.
Out of all, whether they've moved on to other teams or are just generally available, the point is, as of now, we have 16 departures. We have not brought those guys back, so they are not with the team.
Some we have. But yeah, I know it started off with those 16.
I know.
I got it. I get it. It's a good point.
We are holes that need filling.
Holes with no years in front of them. You know what I mean? So that's the big issue there. Anyway,
Where's Stanley Yelnats when you need him?
and also, no extensions that limit the thought of what's going on with this team in the future. We don't know. So anyways, back to the NFL stuff on offense, kind of finishing up. Another name we know, Cedric Wilson Jr. Cedric Wilson Jr., wide receiver, former Dolphin and former Cowboy, signed with the Saints on a 2-year deal. Not sure of the numbers, but it ain't that much.
Yeah.
Now, on defense, I was saying, Khalil Mack yesterday staying with the team. Today, Joey Bosa restructured his contract to stay with the Los Angeles Chargers. So Bosa and Khalil Mack both agreed to restructure and both stay in L.A., while Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, they didn't take any pay cuts, didn't restructure, or didn't have a restructure in the contract. Guess what? Boom. They're out. They're out or traded some way. So, now, we remember Eric Armstead from the Niners. They're good interior defensive lineman. I was telling him, I hope we can get him, but I doubt we'll pay for him. Guess what? He signed today, and we weren't going to pay for him. Eric Armstead is signing a 3-year deal, $51 million with the Jacksonville Jaguars, so he now joins a very good Jacksonville pass rush next to Josh Allen, Trevon Walker. Keep that in mind. They're building something there in Jacksonville. Now, what about the guy we really liked yesterday? I said he was already talking with the Lions. DJ Reader. Today, he signed with the Lions. Off the board. One of the better ones left that are out here when it comes to the interior, nose tackle, run stopping. He's gone. 2-year deal with the Lions worth $27.25 million, over $9 million guaranteed. My point here is the Cowboys are never going to pay it. You can't get mad because the Cowboys are never going to pay $27.25 million on a 2-year deal. On a 6-year deal, yeah. On a 2-year deal, hell no. So that's that. Now the Vikings, another defensive tackle, Jerry Tillery. No inside player, right? Can we bring him in? The Vikings signed him today on a 1-year deal worth up to only $3.75 million. So now we're getting to the affordable range question mark for Jerry to help Mike Zimmer out in this defense in the run stop. Former first-round pick Jerry Tillery gets $3.75 million. The Texans. They have agreed on a 2-year deal with former Bills defensive tackle, interior guy, Tim Settle. He's been around. I think he's with Washington for a little bit. Not that great, I would say. The Texans liked him. They got to replace Malik Collins. He got a 2-year deal, $7 million with incentives. So now we're looking at these defensive tackles that are the next level of guys. We're looking at the $3 million range-ish here. Hankins is the $1 million range. So I say $1.5 million. So I see the Cowboys waiting on this still. Yeah, I hate saying it. Cowboys ain't looking at any nose tackles, defensive tackles. And, to me, it's a major shame. We're not going to help out. We're going to give him a skinny Mozzie Smith. No Hankins right now. And Osa Odigizua. We're not stopping the run, even with Eric Kendricks. You feel me? Now, I will say, as far as defense is concerned in the NFL, a guy who was kind of mentioned kind of loosely in the past, Kendall Fuller. Will the Cowboys go and try to sign him? The Dolphins signed him. 2-year deal, $16.5 million. But key here is, it's basically $8.25 million a year for a corner. That shows me that Stephon Gilmore is in that same range. So we're looking at Stephon Gilmore for like $7 to $8 million. In my mind, that's what I think the Cowboys are waiting on when it comes to Gilmore. We shall see. We shall see. Now, finishing up on the defense, and then we're gonna dive into the Cowboys here a lot more. This is gonna be a weird signing here because you're like, huh? You guys we're talking about Snacks Harrison for how many years? I mean, he's already older, right? But yeah. The Lions signed defensive tackle Damon Snacks Harrison, 1-year deal, $11 million extension. That includes $12 million guaranteed between this year and next year. So it basically is like a 2-year deal in a way for like $13 million or something. But he's the leader in tackles by interior linemen. For these past 4 seasons, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 4 years in a row, He's had 72, 76, 81, or 86 tackles as a nose tackle. Mm-hmm. That's really hard. He's not just getting the taking on double teams. He's also making tackles. Usually those guys don't make tackles when they're taking on double teams. But this is also 2015 and through 2018. We're long removed from there, right?
Years.
Still considered one of the best run stuffers in the league. Could have probably had him for maybe $6-7 million a year. When you add 2-year deal and all that, Cowboys said, nah, we're good. Now, a guy I loved at linebacker, we got Eric Kendricks, but I wouldn't mind throwing in Devin White in the mix from the Buccaneers. Well, the Eagles said, hold up, we're taking him. So they must be listening to MCF. I know Howie Roseman's watching.
Sucks, because that's a good move by them.
Yeah, former Bucs linebacker Devin White signing a 1-year deal worth up to max $7.5 million. That I said this earlier, baby.
That is not bad.
He was $8 to $10 million looking like. Now they're getting him for basically under all of that, and that's at max. So that's a great deal by the Eagles. Fuck Philly. And the only other linebacker is kind of left out there. Bills linebacker was a top PFF guy, Terrell Dotson, signing with the Seattle Seahawks there, and that Baltimore Raven defensive coach now over there as the head coach. He's 25 years old and comes off a career best season with the Bills. 8 tackles for loss, 2 pass breakups, and 2.5 sacks. One of PFF's number 1 rated guys when it comes to defensive ratings and things like this at linebacker. So that's that. Now our linebacker. I mean, any quick comments before I get rolling? A comment or two, just to touch base with the chat, as everyone hopefully is hitting like, subscribing, and the bell, and hey, there's always ways of dropping the love and showing the support here as well. But as far as comments, we got drops of love, but also drops of knowledge.
Of course.
What's the chat saying in a couple quick comments?
First of all, like I said in the chat to Matt, there's been so many moves. Don't feel bad, guys. If
yeah,
you guys, someone gets something wrong there, yeah. But the Chargers did make a really solid little pickup there with Gus Edwards. So.
Oh, they got him too. All right.
Yeah, they picked him up on the first day.
Oh, okay, that's right. Yeah, I think I mentioned that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You've got so many moving pieces, right? So, Seabass saying, I'm praying to the football gods and saying, Lord, I will stop rooting for the Chiefs to lose if you just make the Cowboys re-sign Tyron, Gillian, Hankins.
I'm going to talk about that in a minute. So, I mean, those are the 3 guys I think we have to re-sign at this point with the way things are breaking down. Any other quick comments? Because I'm ready to. I'm rearing to go.
Thomas Garrett said, "What are you waiting for, clown show?"
They're waiting. I'm going to break down some of what they're waiting for, and before you speak on, because baby, you have all of Stephen Jones' crazy ass quotes today. I really break down what they really meant by all in. We go and dive deep. So make sure you stay tuned for the finale. But I do want to touch on some things first, and that's Eric Kendricks, real quick, baby. The Cowboys had a major hole to fill at linebacker. Remember, last year, LVE got hurt. Overshown got hurt. The knee injury in training camp for Overshown out for the year. Van Der Esch got hit with that neck injury. And then what do? We moved the Marquise Bell, a safety, to play there. So now we have a real linebacker. It's funny, baby. What's his name? Emmanuel Acho, who hates on the Cowboys constantly, said this is a sneaky move of the free agency right now, is Eric Kendricks to the Cowboys.
Okay. Because
of the reasons I said. The scheme fit, the experience factor, leadership factors, to work with Zimmer. That's something the Cowboys really needed. He's right. I hate to agree with him. He's right. And even David Helman was like, I don't expect you to pump up the Cowboy fan base, but you're right about this. And listen, I agree. I think people don't understand what a sneaky good pick this is for the Cowboys. I was happy about it yesterday. I hope you guys understand it's not going to be a name pick. It's a scheme pick, which is maybe much more important. So we needed some depth. We needed some starting quality inside linebacker. But here's the key that I got out of some of these things from Kendricks today.
Okay.
The word is, guys, from Van Der Esch. Van Der Esch is expected to retire in the next coming weeks. A couple of weeks from now will be the retiring of him.
We kind of assumed that.
Right. I just wanted to get the time frame down.
It's good to start hearing that now. I don't want to say officially, but officially in rumors. How about that?
Well, not a rumor. It sounds like coming from a bunch of top sources. In the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks, he will be officially retiring, unfortunately for LVE. So with that going on, and then this new scheme from Zimmer, you needed Eric Kendricks even more. Some people think that LVE is coming back. this is a needed move. If not any needed move, this is the biggest needed move maybe to start off. But there's a lot of moves the Cowboys still need to make. The thing we do know about Eric Kendricks, guys, he's the most instinctual linebackers. He's the most instinctual linebacker the Cowboys have had since Sean Lee.
Okay.
Think about that. The instincts are there. Baby.
Hold back.
Listen, instinct is different than injury.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that. That's
right.
what I'm saying. Like,
right.
Sean Lee, we always knew that Sean Lee had, crazy amounts of talent and hard work and dedication and all that, but that the injuries held him back the most, which is why he never was able to realize his full potential in a consistent way. But when Sean Lee was good, he was absolutely demolishing.
Right. And again, let me reiterate, Eric Kendricks is not as athletic as he was, so he's not going to be as good as he was, but that's why it's so important to get that defensive tackle, to keep him clean. If you keep him clean, he will make the tackles. He's instinctually the best guy since Sean Lee at linebacker. All right? I'm talking about Jalen Smith and LV.
No correlation health-wise.
No correlation health-wise, but instinctually, he's up there knowing where to go before everybody else. That's so important for an inside linebacker. I know,
it's hard to not hear anyone compared to Sean Lee and not instantly have your butt cheeks clench and go oh my God, please.
I'm good.
This guy's gonna get hurt.
Because like Tyron Smith, when Sean Lee was there, he was a dominant linebacker. And I think that Eric Kendricks is just basically, he's not going to be as dominant as Sean Lee was at his best, and he's not going to be as good as he was when he was at his best, but he's still going to provide what we need to stop the run. That's what I give a fuck about. He's good in coverage in the box. He's great at stopping the run. Just need to get a defensive tackle that can keep him clean. Eric Kendricks will do a great job there in this scheme of Zimmer. And his instincts are natural. His athleticism has went down, so he won't be able to get off those blocks. That's why we need, he'll get blocked sometimes. Sometimes he will get off the blocks, but to get consistency, you have to have good defensive tackles. Case closed. So Eric Kendricks today, again, on his Instagram, it was released, seeming ready to go to Texas. He had a cowboy hat on, and after the signing was announced, and his wife, Allie Kendricks, posted this playful video of him in a cowboy hat, kind of tipping the hat. And she added, "He's ready, y'all." So again, Eric Kendricks, his family, they're ready to come to Dallas.
That's
really
really exciting.
They're ready for the Star Show, basically. And also, Eric Kendricks kind of said this, alluding to his new destination in Texas. He said, quote, "I need to put in some more work when riding a horse." So, again, not talking about his football skills here. He's talking about his horse riding skills. Yeah. Because, Cowboys. You know what I mean? So, again, I'm sure his place is in Dallas that will be willing to help him out and help him ride a horse and all that stuff. Maybe even DeMarvin Overshown, who owns a whole ranch of horses, right? Now, that was yesterday's move. Eric Kendricks, great. He's back. Good news there. Remember, guys, we made the Niners cry when we got Kendricks because he was supposed to sign with them, and we took him away from them. So fuck the 49ers. But today we signed a guy that we took away from probably Washington, the Commanders.
Okay.
And his name is Jordan Lewis. We do know Lewis. That was from Pulp Fiction. I mean, from Jackie Brown. But anyways, Jordan Lewis, he was on his way to Washington, packing his bags, basically, joined Dan Quinn. And the Cowboys used that same move that the Packers used to keep A.J. Dillon as their player there. As a player there, Jordan Lewis had signed a 1-year deal with the Dallas Cowboys. It is worth $2.8275 million. A 1-year deal, $2.8 million. I mean, not bad for a very good slot corner that can tackle.
I'm going to also throw out here another positive as far as the Jordan Lewis thing. He had a few ups and downs. He was playing much more consistently at the end of the season.
Yes.
So for him to come back from that Liz Frank injury, that's what he looked like. I'm going to assume he's going to look a little bit improved from that.
From last year.
From that, yeah.
Yeah, so listen, here's the thing that's crazy, baby. I want you to understand, this deal is worth $2.8275 million. Why is it so precise and perfect like that? Like the numbers go all the way down.
2.75.
It's all guaranteed, by the way.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Under the 4-year player qualifying contract provision in the CBA, that's how this deal got done.
Oh, so isn't that similar to what the Packers did?
Yeah, I just said A.J. Dillon, yeah. Lewis has a $2.66 million base salary in this deal with a bonus of $167,500. Remember that number? That's the same bonus that a player who's older gets a veteran salary benefit deal. We talked about, yeah. That's the number they get if they get a bonus.
Okay.
167 $167,500. That's what he's getting. This is done by the CBA. This is not even a deal done by the Cowboys or Jordan Lewis's agent. This is like a done deal, basically, just ironing out a couple of the specifics. But it's done in the books because of this four-year player qualifying contract provision. He probably wasn't going to get more than this somewhere else. So the Cowboys said, we'll give you this now, fully guaranteed, 2.82, whatever the numbers are set in the CBA for this year, with that $167,500 bonus. And he's only counting as $1.377 million against the cap. It is another veteran salary benefit type deal. I literally talked about this last night in detail. Yep. If you missed it, watch it. Very interesting. And it's all about how we just literally signed Jordan Lewis.
Everyone on his team is going to be a grandpa.
Yeah. Now listen, Jordan Lewis qualifies for this. He's saying he is getting it guaranteed. When you get a lower deal, he gets his money. But he saves his cap space with this money.
So again, it's good for both sides. He gets all his money fully guaranteed, right? And the Cowboys save money on his contract overall. Yeah. So even though it's fully guaranteed, we're fine with that because of the savings we get. So
Jerry's paying $2.8275 million in total. I told you guys 2.66 base, $167,500 in the bonus. That full amount is $2.8275 million. But against the cap, he's only counting as 1.377.
I know.
That's it, which is about half of that. So my point is, the Cowboys are saving about about $1.5 million on the cap, and Jordan Lewis is getting almost $3 million fully guaranteed.
Okay.
That's what the deal is, and we got him.
Now, Seabass asked a very good and important question.
Let's hear it.
Just Jordan Lewis's contract there, what's actually hitting the cap, that's 50% of our supposedly currently available cap. Because he said, are you not asking yourself the question I'm asking? If we're $2.2 million under the cap, how do we sign all these people? Can you explain it like I'm 5?
Well, it's because, there is some grace period and because even the Chargers, they were over still $25 million. They're making moves. They were making moves on their own, getting rid of guys, but they're also signing guys.
So kind of like how you have 30 days to pay your credit card statement, so to speak.
There's like a grace period. You got to get under that number by a certain time frame, so you can play with that. The Joneses didn't want to go like $20 million over that. Now you got teams like the Chargers trying to get under from $25 million.
It also feels like we are going to leave all those cap growing moves right till the very last second. Like you know how we talked several times about how you can do Dak's contract and open up some cap space. Okay, great. How you can sign guys like CeeDee Lamb and Micah, pay them, and still kind of maneuver the cap. So. I'm going to assume that the Cowboys will begin that process with their first major kind of signing of a player. I'm guessing a CeeDee Lamb will be first.
Extension you're talking about.
That's sorry. You know what I mean.
Well, I don't, because here's the thing, baby. Since yesterday was the first day of the league year, the Cowboys, these signings that we've done are not official yet. So you got to remember, even though we officially have a handshake agreement, it hasn't hit the cap yet. So we didn't sign Eric Kendricks and hit that money yet. Yeah. We didn't sign Jordan Lewis and it hit that money yet. We have an agreement in principle, which is just a matter of time. But the Cowboys are waiting to get something, to probably cut somebody and move somebody here, and to get all these guys. When we sign them officially to the roster, then you'll see it adjusted on the cap. I think there is some leniency, a little leeway there in these first days until the 17th or something like that of March. But either way, we're fine. Don't worry about it. We could spend a little bit of money. We just don't want to. I know the Cowboys not going to go $20 million over, even though with one swift move of restructuring Dak's contract, we get right underneath that, no problem. So we can still play with that money. The Joneses, they play with our emotions. But either way, we got Jordan Lewis on this team, which I don't mind for $1.3 million maybe on the cap. I'll take Jordan Lewis back. He was better at the end of the year, like you said. Incredible resilience and battling back from that list, Frank Fratcher in 2022, being a full-time nickel cornerback this year, and played badly in the beginning, got better as he got used to playing on the field.
Yeah, it's a lot different saying Jordan Lewis is going to be one of our corners when we're expecting Trayvon to be back. Right. And fingers crossed, we can maybe get Gilmore back if we decide
let me continue, because here's the thing. Again, Jordan Lewis was the Cowboys Ed Block Courage Award winner because of that comeback from the broken foot. Yeah. But also, came back at the end of the year looking better. His play got better as the season went on. The last couple of games, guys, he had a pick. He had, he really much better in coverage. You can see the difference in his last 5 games of the season. So I think it is a bigger move than we think to get him back for the right price. If it was $5-6 million, hell no. But for 1.3 on 1.37 on the cap, hell yeah, that's a good pickup for the Cowboys. And again, the last 4 games of the season, listen to this: his PFF overall defensive grade, 76.1. He was 20th in the NFL, just on defensive grade, and the run defense for him, a 92.9. He was a great run support player for the Cowboys at corner. Number 20th in defense, but number 1 in run defense. He's a fantastic tackler. He does not miss tackles.
I was just about to say, I also want to remind people, remember, if a cornerback is having a tackle in that situation, we're already in usually a bad general run stoppage, right?
Yeah.
But he still came through when he had to do it. I just want to point that out, just because perspective is still key. Our run situation, run stoppage was still not great.
It's still an issue. That's why it's unfortunate. We needed him to help. That's a problem. But here's the thing, too, though, baby. That first overall defensive grade of 76.1, which was 20th in the NFL at corner, it seems low. But it's higher than DaRon Bland and Stephon Gilmore's grades.
I would actually say it's, wow, that's actually surprising.
Yeah,
it seems more mid-range to me, just because most teams have 2 to 3 corners.
Right, this list goes to 100.
That's what I'm saying. Once you start doing it, I'm like, that's not bad, right? But how is that possible? You know what? Actually, it kind of makes sense. I'm assuming he didn't play as many snaps.
Yeah, the numbers of snaps were less.
But I'm assuming those numbers are still proportional. Like, if he had 100 snaps and the other guy had 300, and you guys still kind of, I don't know.
Again, I wanted you to go back to the beginning of that comment. It was the last 4 games of the season.
Okay.
So the last 4 games of the season, he played as the 20th best cornerback, while Stephon Gilmore and DaRon Bland did not in those last 4 games. And he played as the best run stopper on the cornerback side in the NFL. In those last 4 weeks, that's what we're looking at going forward into the year. Those last 4 weeks, the last 4 or 5 weeks, he's going to play like that this year, is what the thought is.
That's the baseline where he's going to hopefully be starting from, and hopefully with Zimmer's tougher defense, right?
The press coverage is going to be nice at the slot there.
But Jordan Lewis has always been a tough guy too.
But here's the thing, though: what happens now with our team? Because I still like DaRon Bland in the slot, and I don't mind Jordan Lewis as being the backup. To me, this now kind of figures into a situation where, are we going to try to re-sign Gilmore anymore, or this is our Gilmore signing? You know what I mean? So here's the thing: Jordan Lewis, returning for his 8th year, by the way, with the Cowboys.
I can't believe it's been that long.
Yeah. He's the 4th longest tenured Cowboy cornerback in the last 40 years.
I told you we're bringing back all the grandpas. I told you.
Hey, Orlando Scandrick was 10 years with the Cowboys. 2008, 2017. I know you remember him.
Oh, yeah.
Everson Walls, I remember him. 81 and 89, that was 9 years. Terrence Newman, 2003 to 2011, 9 years. And Jordan Lewis, 8 years with the Cowboys. In the last 40 years, he's the 4th longest tenured cornerback. 2017, 2020. We were here with his rookie year. We came in together, Jordan Lewis, together in the same year on YouTube. And so same offseason. Right there after the draft. So Jordan Lewis staying with the Cowboys in MCF. So Jordan Lewis, he sits at 236 tackles for his career. All right? That is 16th in Cowboy franchise history among defensive backs. I'm talking about safeties and corners. That's fantastic. That's like a safety number right there. 16th best in franchise history. If he gets 50 more tackles, that puts him in the top 10 in the Cowboys defensive back history. In tackles.
I mean, that's fantastic.
That's how big he is as a press cover corner guy, probably in the slot, and making those tackles when they run at him. He does a great job at that.
To be fair, no one else has had as long of a time to get numbers like that.
That's part of it, too. Longevity, right? That matters. Now, maybe the Cowboys will get something done with Stephon Gilmore. I still hope we do, because I think Bland plays even better in the slot. We'll have 4 good corners instead of 3. Because there's really nobody after that, unless we draft someone. So
consider this: the money that we saved as well, even if it is just $1 million, with the Jordan Lewis saying, "Heck, that's another $1 million you can play with if you want to toss it Gilmore's way."
Yeah, I mean,
if
that's what we're missing.
Yeah.
If that's what we're missing with Gilmore, then throw that $1 million over there, and then however the Joneses make it make sense in their crazy little fucked up heads, I'm down with it. But the point is this. Gilmore, I hope he comes back. But let's say right now the starting cornerbacks for 2024 is Trayvon Diggs on one side, DaRon Bland on the other side, and Jordan Lewis will be the slot as of right now. Now, I know Seabass said that's the right move, whatever. I do not like. I like DaRon Bland on the outside. He'll get some picks, but he's better as a lockdown guy and get picks from the slot. That's just a fact. So we need to bring back Gilmore to play the outside. We have Jordan Lewis to kind of mix and match in there with DaRon. There's a lot of things you can do. And remember, Zimmer loves to play like with two sides of the field, so he will have rotations back there at corner and give you different looks on defense for the offense to get fucked up with and kind of not sure what they're doing. So I think this is a major move for Zimmer in this defense, especially if we add Gilmore eventually.
Well, not just that, but after last year, the situation we had at cornerback, I don't understand how anyone wouldn't want to have a little bit more depth on and something you can count on too.
Yeah.
That's the big caveat there, because yeah, sure, we can draft a guy, right? Or we can pick up someone else, but if we're trying to go cheaper than Gilmore,
it's going to be tough.
I'd rather draft someone.
But drafting,
you get my point.
Drafting, you get Kelvin Joseph. Drafting, you get, Nashawn Wright, who, by the way, is our fourth cornerback. How do you guys feel about that? You feel good? Because I don't. Mm-hmm. So bring in Stephon Gilmore. Make Jordan Lewis our fourth corner. He can be in there in the mix. He'll be like, we'll have, if someone happens to one of our outside guys, DaRon Bland can shift outside.
I think
and we get Jordan Lewis back in.
Because he said if he had to choose between Hankins, Tyron, or Gilmore, he would say Gilmore to bring him back.
No, I didn't say anything about. I didn't even answer that yet. I didn't answer that question. Oh, no,
I'm not saying that. I said earlier you had made a comment.
Yeah, I said I wanted all three back.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I know. I think he said out of those three. Someone asked that
I know
today.
what you meant, Seabass. You're good.
Out of today, there was a question which I'm going to bring up shortly. That asks of the remaining guys, who would you bring back? And that's my short list, and I think we get all three back. That's all I'm saying. Who would I take over anybody else? It's hard to say at this point. It really is for me, because we can still listen. Here's I'm gonna counter this with Seabass. With Jordan Lewis, I mean, we can still, without Stephon Gilmore, we can still run our starting three corners. We just have no depth. Mm-hmm. Without Tyron Smith, we have no guard or tackle, like none.
No, but we have options when it comes to the O-line, especially when it comes to the draft.
At center?
What we don't
Question
have.
mark.
You know what we don't have options for?
Corner?
Hankins.
Well, okay.
I'm.
So we all pick different people.
I'm picking Hankins out of this lineup. It does come down to not just team needs, but what I actually expect the Cowboys to do. I mean, I don't think they've made it any secret. It seems like we're heavily favoring O-line in the first round. I'm still going to stick by that. If we go O-line, whether it's a guard, whether it's a tackle, we've already discussed the variety of options there, but we're a little bit more solid. Obviously, I'd rather go personally tackle. I think that's, or I mean, it's guard.
I'm nervous about center.
I just said guard. Sorry, inside guy is more important. Yeah. I still would rather shift Tyler Smith. Anyway, rolling it back. My point is, you said it. I would prefer more depth. I would still like a few more options, but Diggs, Bland, and Lewis, that's a solid starting little trio there at corner.
That's kind of, I look at that.
But what the fuck are we going to do if we don't bring back Hankins? We can't draft someone. Anybody else we try to sign, again, if we're looking for a similar price range.
The good news is, Isaiah Buggs and other guys out there, there's still a lot of guys that go for $1.5 million. That's why I'm saying, as Hankins or Hankins lookalike, there's guys out there that can still do that same job. As good, better, maybe, But my point is, it'll be around similar production. To me, we don't have an offense. To me, it's like Tyron Smith makes the draft easy for center and guard for the future, whatever you want to do it. But that keeps their offensive line, which is the thing that has to keep going, or else this offense shits the bed again, and it's going to have trouble without an offensive tackle that's got to guard Dak's blind side. So to me, that's a major. I don't care about Tyler Smith at tackle is okay, but he's better at guard. So I'd rather get a real tackle that knows how to guard the backside, and that's Tyron Smith. So look, we all have different choices, but I think, I'm going to say it again. The Cowboys should get all three of them. Case closed. Case closed. Now, let's keep it moving. We'll never get out of this discussion because we still had just a little bit more. I just want to say Stephon Gilmore, he still has a decision to make. He's still out there as a free agent. He's not signed yet. Mm-hmm. But right now, the Cowboys are still looking at Stephon Gilmore is my sources or the things I've read. The Cowboys are very much still in on Gilmore and signing him to a decent deal. Do not be surprised. $6-7 million deal with some kind of bonus or incentives for Gilmore. And that would make the cornerback stuff complete, I think, for us.
I agree.
You know, that would be pretty good. We can even draft a guy later, see how it rolls, and then push Deshaun right off the fucking team.
And the best part is that the Cowboys
That's Dan Quinn's guy anyway.
A heavily incentive-laden deal for Gilmore. You know, they could be, you-know-whats, right? Give Bland a little bit of that outside corner experience still. Have him out there a few times. Obviously, Jordan. I'm just saying, like, you know, we expect some kind of small rotation. I'm not saying it's going to be a lot.
Some
just
kind
saying,
of switching around,
those
too.
few times where you see guys moving around, like, yeah, that's when Gilmore is probably going to step out, and he'll be like 1% shy of, like, whatever that incentive number is or something.
Here's the thing, and I want to make sure we move it on, baby, because we didn't just add Jordan Lewis to the defense. We added another guy to our defense, but also part of our special teams. It's not Bones, but it's one of Bones' best guys. Longtime Dallas Cowboys special teams ace, C.J. Goodwin.
The Cowboys must really agree with me on the value of special teams because they've done more moves of special teams than anywhere else.
Yep. I mean, I'm going to show you guys in a minute, but you're going to see here the Cowboys signed C.J. Goodwin on a 1-year contract. A 1-year deal means it's going to be minimum price for the Cowboys. You know this. Goodwin played at a Pro Bowl caliber level before he tore his pectoral muscle. Remember that in Week 5? I mean, luckily we still kind of held it down. We had Sam Williams running as a gunner and all that stuff, but Goodwin wouldn't have made the mistakes that some of our guys made last year at running down the field and trying to, down the ball, whatever it may be. So Goodwin, if he's healthy, he's a major part of our special teams. He's a cornerback safety, but he don't play defense too often. I think he was used a couple times by Marinelli as a specialist or something. But my point is, Goodwin played at a Pro Bowl. He could have been a Pro Bowler if he stayed healthy last year. Tore his pectoral. Back for his 7th season with our Dallas Cowboys. 7 years now for C.J. Goodwin. I'm going to believe, I'm going to guess, and it hasn't come out yet, the numbers. But, baby, I'm willing to bet you this is a VSB deal.
Okay.
A veteran signing benefit deal that we'll sign him for the 1.3. He'll get that in his pocket.
Yeah.
But we only get hit with $900,000 in the cap. That helps both sides. We get a great player on special teams, and boom, there goes the dynamite. That's it. So, I think...
I want to hear just a super quick. How many players overall do you think the Cowboys will end up signing under this structure? I'm going with 5.
That's a good number. I can agree with that. By the time
all is said and done, I think 5 guys will be on this team under that structure.
Got 5 on it.
We're 2 for 5 as of now.
As you can see, we've added Eric Kendricks to this team from the Chargers, former Viking, now back reunited with Zimmer. We have Carl Davis, practice squad, returning. Don't worry about him. Trent Zeig's practice, special teams, obviously. There's C.J. Goodwin, also special teams, even though he's a cornerback. And Jordan Lewis, who's currently the starting slot right now for us. Unless we get Gilmore, then he's a jack of all trades, so to speak, or so is Deron Bland. Deron Bland would become a movable piece if we get Gilmore. And that's what makes it. Maybe Zimmer does, we want that for Zimmer. We'll see. Of course, you see the losses. Hey, guess what, baby? Today, we had no Cowboy lost players.
Woo.
So we returned 4, lost 5, and added 1. So we're 5. We added 5. We lost 5 right now at this moment. Pollard to the Titans. Neville Gallimore at the bottom there was yesterday to the Dolphins. And then 3 guys to the Washington whatever the fucks, the toilet bowls. Dorrance Armstrong, Dante Fowler, and Tyler Biadasz run into Dan Quinn for some money and some not as hard coaching. So, I talked about Zeke already as being an option maybe out there. But, baby, I want to talk about the remaining free agents that we have. This is the question that Seabass was asking. We have 8 remaining unrestricted free agents. Tyron Smith, Stephon Gilmore, Jonathan Hankins, Jaron Kearse, Chuma Edoga, Sean McEwen, Rico Dowdle, Noah Ibagagani. Who do you want to keep from this list? Because to me, I have Tyron Smith, Gilmore, and Hankins. Kearse can go. Edoga can go. McEwen can go. Iganami can go. I still think you can maybe find a place for Rico Dowdle, possibly on here for cheap enough. Maybe get him in that VSB if he's qualifying. So I'm just saying, I would get those 4 guys back. And you know what? If we get a couple of these guys like Jonathan Hankins and Rico Dowdle on that VSB deal, you bring them back, and you bring back Tyron Smith and Stephon Gilmore. You got to pay. You got $15 million for both of these guys, plus another $2 million for the other 2. So you spend $17 million on these 4 guys. And you now can start looking at more out externally, the cheaper bit, the bargain bin guys the Cowboys going to go for on other teams, and draft. So that to me is the way it goes. What do you think? Because again, I think we can sign all three. We haven't done shit in free agency. We have the money to do this. We get all these three guys in Tyron Smith, Stephon Gilmore, and Hankins, and I'm going to throw in there Rico Dowdle as a bonus. What do you think, baby? You let me know.
I'll work my way backwards and
go.
just kind of give quick hitters. Noah Benhagany.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Don't see him coming back. Rico Dowdle. Don't
Question
think so.
mark.
Don't think so. Sean McEwen gone.
No, you know why he's gone, McEwen? Because he would have been back, but the reason why he'll be gone, I think, is mainly because we have that John Stevens Jr. coming back, and he would have replaced McEwen. Now he's back healthy from that injury. He would be our fourth guy. So
okay.
I just want to throw it in there. Go ahead.
So no to Chuma.
Okay.
Although maybe a little asterisk there, just because obviously with our current O-line situation,
we don't want Chuma starting, but as a backup to Tyron Smith,
that's I never.
No, I know.
I know. It just feels like you're putting a lot of words in my mouth here
okay.
when I'm making my comments.
Okay.
I never said he was starting. I just said I could see him coming back because of our O-line situation.
Okay. And Jaron Kearse at
I
safety?
would like to see Jaron Kearse come back, but I don't think it'll happen. Probably Mukwama will just take a step up. Is my.
I think it's bigger. I think it's different. My opinion is I think Zimmer doesn't use many safeties. He only uses 2 safeties, so it's not a need for Jaron Kearse. We still have, like you said, Mukwamu, but we also have Marquise Bell, who's going back to safety. So we got like 4 safeties, 5 with Jaron Kearse. Do we really need Jaron Kearse? The answer is no. That's why I think, even though I like the guy, don't think he's going to, he's our number. He was wearing number 1, our first player. I'm sorry, he was supposed to wear 0, right? Was he wearing 0? No. He went to number 1 now. So I'm just saying, like, I guess 0 is still not claimed, has it been? Nope. So I expect Overshown to have that.
And yeah, no surprise here. Hankins, Gilmore, and Tyron Smith. I think the Cowboys have genuine interest in trying to eventually work something out with them. It's just a matter of, can both sides come to that agreement? I think out of those guys, in order of likeliest to agree, I'm going to go with Hankins, Tyron Smith, and then Gilmore in that order. Hankins already made it very clear he's more than down to come back for the Cowboys.
Gilmore has interest. I had a video on that.
I know he has interest. I still put him at the lowest just because I think the market is bigger for him specifically, but Tyron Smith is like the one in the middle just because he's a loyal Cowboy, but it sounds like the Cowboys are maybe playing some tomfoolery.
And then he went, check this worth other places. No one wants to pay him the money he's asking. So that's another revisit we might see. I do want to hit up the chat real quick. Thomas Garrett saying what I said. McEwen would have been gone anyways if not for the injury of John Stevens Jr. Agree. Is he going back to cornerback, says Tyron Church? Maybe, but I don't think he's coming back to us. But here's the one I missed. Dustin Roberts bringing the Wanye Thomas, another safety who played great. So you take away Jaron Kearse, but you're adding Marquise Bell and Wanye Thomas. Now you have 4 safeties, right? And you got Mukwamu as your 5th guy.
That's why I said that I can't see Jaron Kearse coming back.
So it looks like we all agree that Tyron Smith, Hankins, and Gilmore are needed guys for this team. We got to try to get them back. And I think I still say Rico Dowdle's my bonus.
Yeah, since I had 2 kind of maybes between Dowdle and Chuma, if I had to pick one, I'm going with Chuma Odoga.
Okay.
Just because, again, to me, the Cowboys do value their O-line. And, I could see him coming back much more than I can see Rico Dowdle coming back because I think the Cowboys feel like Dowdle is more easily replaceable than a Chuma Odoga.
Maybe. That's true, maybe. But Rico Dowdle, I think they just wait for the VSB on him and get him for a cheap deal. They take him over any other running back that they can get for a cheap deal because he gets the veteran salary benefit. Yeah. We save $400,000 in the cap. So look for some. Even McEwen may come back on that kind of deal. That's a cheap. They don't even count on the cap, some of these guys. So you may get some of these lower level guys back, but the real money guys, there's 2 money guys, I think. I know you like Jonathan Hankins, but we can wait on Hankins. I don't think anybody's dying to pick up Hankins right now. Tyron Smith and Stephon Gilmore are the top 2 on my list. Hankins is 3rd because he will be around another couple of weeks. You know what I mean? And I think, if someone takes Rico, they take Rico. Rico's a dime a dozen, like you said. In fact, I like Malik Davis. I don't have a problem with Malik Davis, even as in our practice squad. So, anyways, but we're talking about 3rd and 4th running backs now. Hunter Lipke's in there too. So that's where it's at. That's where we're at, and that's where we're kind of leaving it at there. Now, as I turn to anybody's quick, I think I hit a couple of the comments, but I don't know if there's any other comments on this specific situation in free agents.
Matt Batten said if you bring back Rico, we still need another running back
Agree.
in free agency.
Agree. I think Rico's your third running back.
Tyron Church said
and you get rid of Deuce Vaughn.
Cook on that,
Yeah, Dalvin Cook's still around.
Veteran
VSB.
signing.
He won't take it, though. He could probably get more somewhere else. But if we get Dalvin Cook, he'd be a nice... Again, he's
I
your...
almost called it CBS, Tyron Church.
But here's the thing. Here's what I'm trying to say. To me, Rico Dowdle would be only behind the rookie and behind the guy we sign. Rico Dowdle would be the third guy, and we get rid of Deuce Vaughn. You take Deuce Vaughn, you get him off the team, and you replace him with Rico Dowdle. That's what I would do. And then you have two guys in front of Rico Dowdle. And then Lipke's your fullback, and you got Malik Davis as your practice squad guy. And Snoop Connor. So that's good. That's the running back thing can be done there. Now, as we go from here, guys, let me get out of this and go to the draft. Because in the draft, we have a couple guys, pro days going on, and listen to some updates I got for you guys on this when it comes to the draft. And let me throw in there the man, Will McClay, in the house. The Cowboys were at Georgia's pro day. All right, I think they had a receivers and defensive backs. No, they didn't. I'm sorry. We had offensive line coaches there in Georgia. Receiver Ladd McConkey was very impressive at Georgia's pro day. He had quick feet, quick hands. But the guy the Cowboys are looking at is a huge man. Remember this guy, baby? Amarius Mims. This guy's huge. He's always injured.
I remember him. I have to be honest.
Yeah, he's the one that hurt himself in doing the second 40. He tweaked something.
Oh yeah.
But this guy was big. I talked about it. He was mocked to us by Mel Kiper because he is such an unbelievable. He's like Tyron Smith bigger, but he didn't do much work because of that hamstring issue. But the offensive line coaches were in attendance, and that was one of the guys that were mocked to us in the first round. That's an offensive tackle. If he's healthy, he's great. It's like a Tyron Smith, but as a rookie. But as a rookie coming in as this Tyron Smith, So I'm not a big fan, but that's who the Cowboys were looking at. I got to make sure I shout out Mr. Brandon J 2024 with the 5 on it. I think it was 5, right?
Yes, it was. Thank you, Brandon J. He said,
what did the man say?
The Kansas City Chiefs re-signed defensive tackle Isaiah Buggs on a futures contract and Derek Nottie.
Did they get Buggs back? Damn, so that sucks. They're smart. They got Pennell and they got Buggs. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go. We're running lesser and lesser on the defensive tackle side of things. Thank you, Brandon. Appreciate it.
So, and not just that, but KC keeping their
they know how to keep it going.
Strongest unit, as fully active and together as possible. Let's be real. The defense is what got them all the way to the bowl. So
to the win.
So to the wall.
That's the thing though about them, man. That's why they're such a good team. They got all these salary cap things, and they still getting the job done. They're getting the job done. They're getting Hollywood Brown, the receiver now. They're improved their receiver spot. How the fuck? We're saying they're going backwards. So, anyways, thank you, Brandon. Appreciate you. Mark's the 94 points. But let me just say something else here. Today's practices, we had Clemson have their pro day. The Falcons, the Giants, the Patriots, Steelers, Broncos, Panthers, Packers, Dolphins, Raiders, Jags, Chargers, Lions, Ravens, and our Dallas Cowboys. We're in attendance for the Clemson prospects. I just want to update you guys there.
Wouldn't it have been easier to say the teams that didn't go at this point?
And by the way, we talk about linebacker Eric Kendricks and the Cowboys. What are we going to do? We have another guy. The other day we talked about a Kentucky linebacker that was our first named top 30 visit guy. We just got a second guy announced. And it's a good player, guys. He's a top linebacker, off-ball linebacker, Texas A&M linebacker, Edgerrin Cooper. He is scheduled for a top 30 visit with the Cowboys in early April, same as the other guy there. I'll bring up in a minute because that shows me that the Cowboys, they met with him. They met with Cooper at the Shrine Bowl. They had a formal meeting with him. Now they really liked what they saw. They're getting more in depth with him. Important to note, this is more of a second round kind of pick at linebacker. Major guy, Texas A&M, Edgerrin Cooper. Now, because we got Eric Kendricks, do you think the Cowboys are going to stop at linebacker? That's what I'm trying to say. Forget about linebacker in free agency. We're looking at the draft at linebacker, I think, because the only two guys we have right now, we have 2 visits, 30-day visits right now. One is with Edgerrin Cooper. I just said that one.
Yeah.
And the other one is at Trevin Wallace from Kentucky, another linebacker. He's a 5th or 6th round type linebacker. So what does that tell me? Cowboys are interested whether we're going to go linebacker early. If we don't get him, we're going to go linebacker late.
We're exploring where our best option might be.
Exactly. For me, it's going to be the second round for someone like Cooper. It'll probably be the fifth round for someone like Trevin Wallace. So, and right now, those are the only two guys that we know are coming to Dallas for top 30 visits. Another guy that will probably be on this list, listen to this, though, baby. Mike Soliari, who's, of course, still our Cowboys offensive line coach, today was at Arizona's Pro Day and worked a lot with offensive linemen, with one of my top three guys, Jordan Morgan from Arizona. And this guy, again, offensive lineman, he works the whole line there, interior. Based on the reporting by multiple sources, it looks like if the board and the players fall a certain way, the Cowboys could be making the pick at 24 with this Jordan Morgan. And the reason is, listen, Morgan basically had 3 private workouts rather than 1 pro day workout. 3 different workouts with 3 different teams. The Jets put him through an array of drills, then followed by the Baltimore Ravens, and then the Dallas Cowboys. So we're one of the 3 teams, the Jets, the Ravens, and the Cowboys, that really are looking closely at this Jordan Morgan player from Arizona. The Ravens stepped up again, ran Morgan through a few more drills. Teams had Morgan run drills simulated at both left and right tackle. So now we're talking about tackle versatility. And he also displayed versatility, showing a lot of athleticism. His offensive line workout lasted almost an hour and had to be stopped so that other players could start their position drills. The feedback on Morgan was fantastic, and teams are convinced that he can hold down the tackle spot. Tackle in the NFL. So you look at that tackle, here's your answer in a way, right? So, again,
I'm calling it now. O-line, linebacker, running back.
That's the order?
First 3 rounds.
First 3 picks. Well, if it's offensive line, you got center, guard, or tackle. Morgan would be a tackle. And the thing about him, guys, is speaking with people about Morgan, he is in play for the Cowboys at pick number 24. The Ravens pick at 30. The Chiefs pick at 32. So
we obviously are first in line to get him, and I have to admit,
the Jets would be
extremely happy.
The Jets would be the pick if he gets to the second round. You're not picking him with the first pick. So, guys, the feeling is that he will not go past the Commanders at 36. And I guess kind of the lowest he'll go. And it's also Washington is very happy about this Arizona lineman, and the rookie here, Morgan. So Jordan Morgan could be a Cowboy first, could be a Ravens second, Chiefs third, I guess, Jets fourth, and Commanders fifth. That's what it looks like for him, the possible places he's going to land. So that's my... as we get ready and get closer and closer, you see we're getting Will McClay. Stephen Jones on the horizon, unfortunately. But he did speak a lot. And before I get to him, before the wife gets to him, let me give an update, a real quick. He spoke about this, and if it affects the contract situation for Dak Prescott, his extension. Why? Because right now, that sexual assault situation, it's going both ways. Dak jumped in front of it. He's getting extorted. So what's the update on this, guys? The Dallas police are investigating claims of sexual assault involving Dak Prescott. Now it's official. Prosper, which is where he lives, Prosper Police, also confirmed on Wednesday that they began investigating the Cowboys quarterback allegations of extortion. So Wednesday started the allegation of extortion. Today was the rape claims, the sexual assault claims by the woman who said that she's got raped by him 7 years ago. So there's currently 2 police investigations going on concurrently. Prosper Police, which is where Dak lives, are investigating Dak's claims of extortion, and the Dallas police are investigating this woman's claim that she was sexually assaulted by Dak in 2017. This supposed incident occurred in the parking lot of a Dallas strip club called XTC, Ecstasy Cabaret. I think we've seen that driving around. The Cowboys, the Dallas police received this report on Tuesday. Prosper Police are investigating the claim that Dak said he's being extorted, and that was a confirmation to the Dallas Morning News on Wednesday.
Wait, are you telling me that it's basically confirmed that Dak basically boinked her in the parking lot of this place? And
That's exactly what happened.
Ew.
Yeah, he probably fucked a stripper. That's what I'm assuming, or a chick he came with.
It's not about the who, it's about the where.
Supposedly, what I heard is this woman was in the car. He was in the car with her and some of his friends. And he told his buddies to leave. They left, and then they started making out, doing whatever. and then he took her panties off, and they did their thing.
I don't think I need you to explain
no,
the steps.
that's what she said. That's all she said. That she felt like he told him to leave because he was like now overtaking her in a way,
Oh.
So that was kind of like that was her claims. I don't know if it's obvious. Guys, I just don't know. I don't want to say anything wrong because you don't get canceled, but 7 years ago, now she's talking about it for the first time in 7 years. I'm not saying there's not reasons people hold back on this, but it's very interesting that he's about to get an extension, and he's about to have a baby.
Seabass, I think the statute of limitations is 10 years.
I have it. So here's the thing, guys. Dak filed this lawsuit on Monday. Remember, Wednesday is when she officially filed her situation. I'm sorry, it was Tuesday. She filed it a day after he filed his suing of her in the courts in Collin County, accusing this Fort Worth woman of making false sexual allegations against him in an attempt to extort $100 million from him. Again, Dak denied all these allegations. He lives and prospers. The alleged assault occurred on or about February 2nd in 2017 in Plano, Texas, according to the court documents. It is unclear whether Plano police have opened an investigation into that assault. Who knows? I mean, right now, other places, Dallas police are looking at this, but the criminal statute of limitations in Texas for sex crimes against adults varies depending on the severity of the offense.
Okay.
The state law set the criminal statute of limitations in Texas for sexual assault against adults at 10 years.
Okay.
But the civil statute of limitations is at 5 years. So that's
basically
another.
She can try to pursue criminal charges, but as far as
she can't get no money from him.
She can't really go after him any longer.
And that's why she wanted $100 million from him, because she couldn't get that money in civil court.
Yes. And I'm assuming that.
Well, she couldn't do it through the courts, so she had to do it through extortion.
Yeah.
So she's not looking good in this situation. I'm just being real. I don't,
I know, but because
believe
of
the
nature,
accuser, but
because of the nature of the allegations,
that's the accuser.
Regardless of whether this gets proven false or true, a lot of people will already have made up their minds, depending on whatever facts or information they have.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Well, I hear you, and it sucks because this happens to Dak, and it happens to a lot of men out there, and it sucks.
It does.
And sometimes it is a rape, and then men need to suffer the consequence of that. But it just sucks that you got to believe the accuser. To me, the accuser is Dak Prescott, because he said it first. He said, "Look, this woman's trying to extort me," and then she said the next day, "Oh no, he tried to rape me." So it depends on how you look at this.
Definitely not a good look, but maybe again because of the nature of the situation, it could be one of those things where he knew it was going to happen on that day, so he kind of decided to cut in line. How Jerry sometimes, he knows that there's going to be some big news announced, so he's like, but I want my moment in the spotlight, so he kind of tries to
could be
it
could be that
out there first. I don't know.
Look, a lot of cowboy content creators are thinking that this is done on purpose by Jerry Jones and the radio shows 105 The Fan.
I have not heard anything more moronic.
That is stupid. I agree, and that's just me. Listen, I know a lot of people trying to get clicks and views and trying to be part of the regular media. I don't even care if it's regular media or our media here or YouTube media. My point is, I don't give a damn. Listen, just don't go try to get clicks and views and make shit. Your opinions are not facts, and that's all it is. I understand my opinions are not facts. I can make some comments, thoughts. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. But to just make kind of crazy kind of allegations that this is being done on purpose to hurt Dak's negotiating is an insanity to me, which I guess you could say is like the Houston Texans then, what they did with Deshaun Watson.
And final thing I'll say before we move on from this
sickening.
topic here, remember, NFL can still go after players regardless of whether, however things shake out, if they feel like it is conduct unbecoming or you made the NFL look bad.
But,
so,
again,
I doubt that Dak will face any kind of official NFL repercussions, but you can't rule it out.
I think the fact that Dak came out with this first and kind of beat everybody to the punch on this, showing you, I think Dak is not taking any shit from this one. Whether he did something or not, they had sex. It was just better. Was it agreed upon or not? Right? Was it consensual or was it not consensual? And 7 years. I'm sorry. It's just hard for me to have to say 7 years ago. Why didn't you do it sooner? I'm sure there's a lot of reasons, but to me, I'm believing Dak. That's just the way I'm looking at this. And until I'm proven wrong, we'll see what happens. Now. Any other comments on this? I'm sure somebody's commenting on this Dak situation, and I'm sure someone's saying a comment.
Oh, of course. Seabass said legalities favor those that have the wherewithal to understand them. Choctaw Montanari says, this was done on purpose. Matt Batten said she's trying to defame Dak's character. It's sad, but let the courts handle Dak's situation. So Drums and Cowboys said, down here in Texas, we're more worried about the free agency than Dak's alleged rape. There's nothing funny about it, but it just smells like complete bullshit.
100% back Seabass on that comment right there.
So I wouldn't qualify us necessarily as the same media. We're definitely, definitely same field, not the same media. We don't ever sit here and try to pretend we're like on the caliber of like actual official journalists who are like,
we're not
we're also not beholden to the same kind of
we don't have sources
that journalists with bosses have to.
We're not James Slater, we're not Todd Archer, we don't have sources inside the facility. Yeah. We don't work for the facility like Patrick Walker and others. And even if you go in there and sit there and ask questions, we get those same answers they get. They don't have anything special, but there's a couple people that have a little more insight than we do, and we understand that. To me, and the people that are there live and asking questions, that's the media. We are part of the media, an extension of that through YouTube. We report on I guess, media events, media situations, and or, of course, regarding our players and Cowboys. So, look at it however you want. We are all together in some ways the same, but different in many, many ways. For us, I don't give a fuck. I can say whatever I want for the most part. I have nobody I have to make happy.
That's the good part there.
I have to make no one happy. I just say my voice, whether you like it or not, you can take it or leave it. I don't give a good goddamn. A lot of media people, a lot of, with the newspaper, TV, or online, they gotta say things certain ways and kowtow to certain people and topics. But even though I believe 105.3 The Fan does that, I don't think Jerry Jones is saying, get this out there so we can hurt Dak. That to me is the insane part. Sorry, that's a conspiracy theory that I don't.
Look,
unless I get proof, I will not believe that.
If you really want to get conspiratorial, regardless of what future contracts may happen, I don't think Jerry wants a sexual assaulter as his quarterback. That's not a great look for the Cowboys and the brand.
You know what could happen, though? Maybe he wants to void his guarantees.
My dog with their squeaky toy in the background.
Maybe Jerry wants him to void his guarantees.
I don't think anything about this situation is ever going to be enough to do that.
I agree. So, let's keep it moving. I just wanted to touch on that. I do not agree, or I'm sorry, Montana, we don't agree there. There's some kind of conspiracy. I know a lot of them, that media, other online media content creators, they're saying that's what it is. Getting back and forth with the 105.3 crew. They could all be media. I'm not part of that. I'm just not part of that. I don't like to talk about Stephen A. Smith all the time. I don't want to talk about about all the Shannon Sharp. That's not my news. I don't care about. That's not the Cowboys. That's clown show shit. And I don't care about, I got to know about all of it, right? But I don't play with the media and go back and forth with them. I don't fuck with that. I just make my comments and no one can tell me that you can agree, disagree. I don't care either way. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to, there's no boss over us. We're the boss when it comes to our thoughts on this thing.
And your boss is telling you to keep it moving.
All right, boss. All right, boss. So keeping it moving, let's get to the facts. Definite facts. And it comes to Stephen Jones. And I hate saying it. This is what we're going to end our show with. But we're going to end the show maybe with your comments on what... Let me grow them a little bit, boing.
Oh, boy.
Because Stephen Jones, bro, I mean, this guy is going to be the one taking over here when Jerry dies. He is the guy that's right now shitting on our faces. Yeah. So, look, here's the thing, guys. I just want to make a comment here about the situation. Some people are out there saying that maybe Will McClay is partially responsible for this free agent issue. Steven takes the heat. McClay, I think you said this. I know Cleveland Browns said this. McClay is always like, getting the pass. He gets the glory, and Stephen Jones gets the shit. But let me just say, again, this is why I say this. And there's more proof of this today. The Dallas Cowboy front office, not Will McClay, the Dallas Cowboy front office does not want anybody picking up the phones in the first 3 days of free agency. You understand what I'm saying? Like Will McClay might say, I like this guy. The Joneses say, no. Will McClay might say, listen, let's go try to get this guy. It might cost a little bit. The Joneses will say, no. So it's not, how could it be Will McClay when the Joneses say no? Same thing as Dan Quinn wanted Bobby Wagner for 3 years. The Cowboys say the front, not Will McClay. It's Jerry and Steven saying no. He goes to Washington. He gets Bobby Wagner.
To quote Game of Thrones, the king eats and the hand takes the shit.
Well, that's what's happening
Will
here.
Will McClay is not the king in this castle.
Yep. So I want people to understand it's not on Will McClay that he's not making decisions on who to go after and how much to spend. That's on Stephen Jones and Jerry.
Yeah. They
don't pick up the phone in the first 3 days of free agency. No matter what the chart says or the value attached to it, none of that matters. If the calls are not being made to them and deals are not being discussed with agents, And if they don't make the calls or discussions with agents, then no deals are done. They don't pick up the phones in the first 3 days of free agency, and no deals get done.
Yeah, remember Will McClay's job specifically. His job is to bring people in. His job is not to sit there and crunch the numbers.
Well, here's what's crazy, though, baby. The problem is not cap dollars and the pie is a lie. It's not cash available to spend. It's not even how good or bad the players are to me. You got to get the good players. You got to let the account of the way you make the numbers stack up. You got to figure it out properly to give your team the best chance to win. Unless you can have great players, but if you don't have the right accountants, if you don't have the right money managers, the right capologists, then you could be screwed. And guess what we got? We don't have the right capologists. You know why? Because there's two guys, baby, that run the contracts, that do these contracts, meet with the agents. There's two guys that do this. The top guy, the head guy that does this, that meets with the agents and tries to get deals brokered, you know who it is? Stephen Jones. So Stephen Jones, he's an engineer. Remember, he graduated as an engineer. He's not a business negotiator. And the other guy is also an engineer. His name is Adam Paprika. Bet you didn't know that.
I did not.
No, and that's why I'm here. Listen, Stephen Jones and his fraternity brother, his fraternity buddy, Adam Paprika, is the guy. So when there's a situation where Stephen Jones makes an offer to somebody, they get met with resistance. He passes that agent over to Adam Paprika. That's the way these two schmucks work. We have two engineers passing agents back and forth, and when Stephen Jones's ego gets hurt or he gets denied, he gives him to Adam Paprika to handle the rest. Usually it goes bad. That's his frat buddy, an engineer, graduate as an engineer.
Prasivka, not Paprika.
No, Prasivka. I got Paprika. I don't know, but Prasivka, whatever.
Probably, you know what Prasivka. It is? It was probably
I'm sorry.
A typo.
Yeah, it's Prasivka. You're right. This other guy came out of the woodwork, a brother of a guy who used to know him, Adam Perfiska. This guy, Jonathan Baker, said, Adam Perfiska was literally my older brother's football equipment manager when he played at Arkansas. I didn't realize he was a salary cap director. Now, talk about the problem. Stephen Jones is a problem. Jerry Jones is a problem. Whenever we got Adam Perfiska running the numbers as a secondary guy to Stephen Jones, he can't do it right, Stephen Jones. And neither can this guy. They're both frat brothers, friends, and both engineers. Graduated as engineers, not as business majors or negotiation artists. Can this be partially a problem with this team, guys?
I'll be the first to say I'm not really sure what all type of experience goes into managing.
No, whatever it is has been bad.
No, I'm just saying managing contract situation and managing the type of numbers and things like that financial wise, when it comes to paying NFL teams or just sports in general. But I know I'm not good at math. So, maybe I won't apply to be like head accountant at a bank or something. You get what I mean? So, maybe someone who has no actual experience in any kind of fiduciary sense shouldn't be handling hundreds of millions of dollars worth of player contracts.
Well, guess what, guys?
Does he have any? That's what I'm saying. Like, what kind of experience does he have, literally in any capacity? He can do it other than I know some football.
Stephen Jones does it because his dad gave him the job, right? We know that. And then Adam Perfiska is Stephen Jones's fraternity brother and friend, who is an engineer, graduated like him, and is working with him side by side. Used to be a football equipment guy.
We don't even know if they're good engineers.
Exactly. Because they haven't ever done anything engineering-wise. Ever. So, yeah. I don't like what we're doing here. It's managed like shit by Stephen Jones and his partner here, Adam, his frat brother, his frat buddy, Matt Perfiska.
I like partner. I like the implication.
Okay, we'll keep it that way for Steve Jones, since he hates that too. By the way, something I love, and I'm sorry to the man, Stanley Smith. I missed this when he dropped it a little while ago. Stanley Smith dropping that $5.50 holler.
Ooh, he's got 5 on it.
$5.50. With that, go Cowboys. Much love to Mr. Stanley Smith as he continues to trickle up the board and getting closer on that Cash App side, right there behind Marissa Sparkle. So appreciate you, Mr. Stanley Smith. Sorry I missed that from a little bit ago, but we got you. Eventually we catch you, right? At the end. We get you guys. So moving on as we finish up, what's the big discussion with Stephen Jones? The truth of the all-in and a lot more. The Cowboys today hosted, well, first and foremost, the Cowboys hosted their first Tackling STEM event presented by Lenovo. And it was this morning. And in the event, guys, the current Cowboy players, Brock Hoffman, Eric Scott Jr., Wanye Thomas, Jalen Tolbert, Princeton Fant, all 1 or 2 year guys here, hands-on, participating in events with the kids. So good job for them. The AT&T Stadium also had a PBR, a Pabst Blue Ribbon, promotional event that included Kid Rock and the guy on your screen, EVP Stephen Jones. You should see the video. They would come up on a horse. He gets off, and Stephen Jones is like shaking his hand like a schmuck. Is this supposed to be like a Bud Light replacement type of thing? I guess. I don't know. The point I'm trying to say is that he's more interested about making that money, promotions. He's the guy supposed to handle contracts. He's out there shaking hands on a guy on a horse and hanging with Kid Rock.
I'd rather drink swamp water than PBR. Just throwing that out there. Anyway.
No one is mad that the Cowboy ownership has other business to attend to beyond the football team, but the fact that this event was happening, baby, in the middle of the Baltimore Ravens holding Derrick Henry's introductory.
Here are other teams doing football shit. Yeah. Here we are having a beer conference.
Yeah, a promotion. Yeah, advertising and promotion. So the football feels far away from their minds. Mm-hmm. In my mind, we look at them. That's what we see. Stephen Jones was at AT&T Stadium, presumably taking a break from all the free agency phone calls and action. So on behalf of this promotional event by PBR, he discussed a number of things. So at least we got a little bit of information from this shitty event that Stephen Jones is working on. Crazy thing, though, I want to say before you even give your start of things, baby. He walked up to the microphone, this motherfucker. Okay. He saw a lot of Cowboy reporters and ready to go. It was a lot of Cowboy reporters. Mm-hmm. And then he said, kind of chuckling, quote, "Dan, I'm glad we signed a free agent before this." Even he knows he's trolling us. This motherfucker is trolling us. Fuck you, Steve. Anyways.
Yeah, it
just bothers me to hear him. I understand what Marco Seppian is saying because I hate it too. We got to talk about
it. Rich asshole being condescending to the poor plebeians below him that dare to be bothered by their lack of anything. Oh boy. Anyway, let's get to what
does Steve have to say? Steve Jones,
our overlord, has said. So Stephen Jones was asked about the process because, yeah, like he said, we did make that Kendricks move. They were able to kind of squeak it in there right at the last minute. He added in their quote, "Obviously, with our cap situation, we're moving some things around and trying to make sure where we want to allocate things.
Boy.
And the more we visited about it, being one of the guys who was released late and playing under, Zimmer, and not just Zimmer, but, our senior defensive assistant coach, Paul Gunther, he said it certainly influenced us in a big way."
You remember Paul Gunther? That last name right. Paul Gunther is a run game coordinator. He's the guy that, I know you're saying he's the second guy in charge, but he's also the run game coordinator here. So he's a very important job to stop the run. And getting Eric Kendricks in there involved with him too, knowing Zimmer, that's a great double, two guys there to be on the same team there. But it's funny that this is, baby, other than what I said about him starting the press conference, the first thing he was asked was, about Zimmer. The first thing this cocksucker says, quote, "Obviously with our cap situation." It's just like, the Cowboys created that cap situation. They could have $30 million under the cap if they made restructure moves, if they extended CeeDee Lamb. But this motherfucker is literally saying, well, we start off with the cap situation we're in. Come on.
It's like setting your house on fire and saying, well, because of this house fire.
Exactly. It's exactly that. Anyways, go ahead. What else did he say about, Eric Kendricks getting signed here?
He said, quote, "I've gotten to talk to Eric since, and I think he's going to be a great fit. He'll walk right in and be one of the leaders on this defense right away. Mm-hmm. He knows exactly what Zimmer is trying to accomplish with this defense, and he'll know it as well as anybody. We have nothing but respect for the 49ers, and we've lost players like that before, where they're comfortable with coaches and where they're going to go."
What was the thing you said about the Niners again, please? What did he say?
"We have nothing but respect for the Niners. I actually thought the second part of that comment was more interesting, where he said,
but the reason I say
we've
that,
lost players like that before where they're comfortable with coaches.
Right.
Isn't that basically Dan Quinn? Isn't that what he's kind of hinting at there?
I
We've
guess,
lost players because they really like a coach and they followed that coach.
Right.
Like,
well, I think he's also saying we lost players, not just for that, but also that said they're coming to us and then go somewhere else. You can say Randy Gregory is one of those guys.
Because of that coaching well, Gregory was different, but
I know,
because of that coaching connection is what I'm trying to say. That was the ultimate difference maker there.
But you can see there the 40 whiners sent crying there. At least that's one of the good things, I guess you can say.
Right.
That the Cowboys were able to snatch him away. They really were going to use him to replace Dre Greenlaw. Dre Greenlaw, who's free agent now and leaving. So to me, that is it helps us and hurts them. I like that. So fuck the Niners.
So, and of course, we can't. As soon as he mentioned, obviously, the cap situation, wapow, he was asked about Dak Prescott. No surprise there, right? So. What is the latest talks? What's going on there? Stephen Jones said, quote, Dak's been willing to work with us, and we've had great discussions about his contract. He's all in on working with us.
All in.
We're being trolled at this point, just saying.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, that's all we'll say about our negotiations with him. We want to keep those private, and we won't get into timelines, but it's a priority for us. Similar to CD, very similar, and same with Micah. That's our goal, is to work on getting those 3 guys signed to extensions.
No, that's the goal, but let's see it happening, because right now, they haven't even talked to anybody about this.
Well,
Dak
he
Prescott.
said, he just straight up said, we've had great discussions about his contract. So that means that the Joneses have talked directly, supposedly, with that. But remember, does Dak Prescott talk about his contract? Has he ever sat down with the Joneses and talked about his contract? No.
Nope.
He said several times, he's like, I don't deal with any of that shit. That is all my agent's job. I don't know shit about fuck. I'm here to play football. So, not saying it isn't possible, just saying that I find it doubtful that that Steven and Jerry, or our front office, had quote unquote several conversations with Dak specifically. That's what I'm gonna say. But again, I do respect Stephen Jones for keeping at least some things close to the vest. I like that we're not necessarily just advertising our every move out
saying
there.
Again that, like, we know we have to get, again, we're still waiting for it, but Dak, CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons, these extensions are what they're supposedly saying they're focusing on. Remember, we talked about this in the past. For the Cowboys, this is their free agency.
Yes.
Signing these 3 guys. So it could take a while.
And of course, we can't talk about any contractual Dak situation without talking about the current unfortunate sexual assault allegations against him. And Steven said that those allegations have no impact on current contract talks. So just keep that in mind. Obviously, we'll see how that actually ends up playing out in real time, because it's easy to say that now with the information we have now, but who knows?
See if that changes. Hopefully for the better for Dak.
So, again, kind of moving on past that particular topic. He was still asked, I was going to say, more like going back to the original topic, right? So they spoke about Kendricks. Okay, they touched on Dak, but
how about free agency?
Reporters there did bring it back to, okay, but why the lack of anything at all in free agency?
No big name signings, no. We got Kendricks. It's a solid signing.
Is the front office as frustrated as maybe some of the fan base at the lack of movement there, or big moves?
Trust me, they're not.
Yeah, they're fine with it. He said it's not frustrating because we've done a good job with the draft. I think we have 10, maybe 11 Pro Bowlers. That's a sign that, in my mind, our organization, Will McClay and the scouting department, has done our job in terms of developing players. It's a great thing having the Micah, CD, and Dak challenge ahead of us in terms of getting them under the cap, and we're all in getting that done.
Again, all in.
If he says it one more time, guys, I'm sorry. I'm walking away. Mr. CF can finish the quote.
What's the what's the number on this? We've got 2 all-ins so far.
Yeah, we're 2 ins.
I say he has at least 1 more, maybe 2 more all-ins.
Look, it's like Beetlejuice. He says it the 3rd time. Anyway. He said, and of course you've got guys like Trayvon Diggs, Zach Martin, Tyron Smith that play here. When you want to keep your players you've developed and worked so hard to get that are playing at Pro Bowl levels, you're not going to be able to go out and chase those big money external free agents. I've always been ilk that in the first... By the way, that is the improper usage of that word, Steven. I've always been ilk that in the first couple of days in free agency, you pay good players like they're great. And you pay average players like they're good because the market is inflated. I also look at it as player acquisition being 365 days a year.
There it is.
It's not just the first or second day in free agency. It's a leap year.
366 there, Steven. Get your shit right.
I admit I'm being a little nitpicky there on the last one. And because he brought it up too, directly mentioning Tyron Smith, the follow-up to that was basically, hey, what's going on with that there? Last we heard, it sounded like things maybe didn't go the way we wanted. So Steven said, nobody thinks higher of him than we do. We haven't shut the door on a continued career here with the Cowboys. So again, which matches up and tracks with what we knew. But it sounds like, if we put it all together, whatever the Cowboys are looking to bring back Tyron Smith at doesn't sound like something he's ready to commit to right away yet.
Right, he wants to check his opportunities. Right now, opportunities haven't been looking good for him when it comes to that injury he's got.
Yeah, the only team we've heard that has some potential interest in him was, I think, the Chiefs.
Yeah. But they're signing other guys. I don't know if they're going to have room for someone like Tyron.
They mainly just signed a bunch of their defensive
Hollywood
players.
Brown, I mean, that's a big signing for them. A couple other guys, too. That Chris Jones is a freaking huge signing. That took up the whole cap.
So, and of course, bringing it back, right? We talked the whole line. Let's bring it one step back. Running back, right? Tony Pollard heading to greener pastures, at least for him, with the Titans. Yeah. Rico Dowdle, still a free agent.
What are we going to do with this? We talked about this running back situation
now that all the kind of top running backs have been cleared and signed, and
Dylan
going back
to Dylan going back to Green Bay, looks like, right?
Steven kind of shared his 2 cents on the running back situation, saying, quote, I think we're having to make some tough decisions right now. This organization that's been built on great backs, whether it's Tony Dorsett, Herschel Walker, Emmitt Smith, Zeke, or Tony Pollard, we're big believers in running backs. They bring a lot to the table. Unfortunately, we're at a point where we have to make some decisions in terms of where we allocate dollars.
Buys a lot.
Do you allocate dollars to a guy like Kendricks when he'll come in at a position where we feel like we're short? We feel like there's got to be some way to address the running back situation in a more efficient way. We'll see how that works out. A lot to be played out between now and the first game next season. I don't think you win a Super Bowl on the first, second, or third day of the new league year. So thanks for the real pedantic comment there, Steven.
Listen,
really appreciate it.
I understand what you're saying when it comes to, like, you're looking at some weaknesses. We don't have that much depth at linebacker, so you go there. But we also don't have depth. We don't have anybody at running back.
I know.
It's more about the value of the position, in my opinion.
I know, but this is one of those situations where, on a fundamental, I might not agree with some of the execution, but on a fundamental level, I do agree with Stephen Jones. We could not continue to keep dumping ridiculous amounts of money into the running back position when we already knew this back when we signed Zeke to that big contract. It's not like this happened last year. It's been years in the making.
But while we agree on this, and we're paying $6 million of dead money to Zeke, we know the punishment of this. What's the fear of spending $4 million on a running back that's going to be solid and get you, better things than, let's say, the bargain bin $1 million guy or a rookie that we don't know what's going to happen?
It seems like we're suffering from a bit of an extreme overcorrection where the Cowboys feel like, damn, we overspent. Now we have to, quadruply underspend.
That's where they're dumb, in my opinion.
I think if push comes to shove, it will be a rookie and Dowdle and the guys we already have.
I think that's the bare minimum for this team.
So
running back.
Maybe another... Just saying, like a Lipke type of fullback situation in the sense of it's going to be a running back by committee. How about that? So
anyway. The Cowboys have to address the running back situation in free agency, in my opinion, and the draft. Stephen Jones.
Yeah, we've all kind of said this pretty much throughout the night.
Yeah, so Stephen Jones actually comments about this outlook at the running back position and hints that this is what they're going to do. What I've been saying for 2 or 3 weeks is get a free agent. I was hoping for someone a little more, but all right, I understand that I want to spend the money. And then you got to get a running back that's going to complement whoever you get.
If a guy that's $4 million is already too much, that means that if those 2 moves are happening, combined, it'll be maybe $4 million.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying J.K. Dobbins and a rookie. Mm-hmm. You got Kareem Hunt and a rookie. Clyde Edwards-Helaire and a rookie. Dalvin Cook and a rookie. That's what we're looking at now. So what does Stephen Jones say about that? What's the plan for the running back position?
We're looking at the draft, too. We don't have an established running back in the organization right now.
That's right.
It's something we'll be looking at in terms of getting young there again.
That's a key.
But I wouldn't be surprised if we also address it in free agency.
You better.
In this day and time, everybody's got complementary backs in the league. This has become the norm. I see us not just fixing it with one player at the running back position, but with more than one player.
And that's again, confirming what your boy MCF and we saying here.
Attacking on both sides, but clearly, we're trying
draft
to do
is first
different.
here.
Now,
free agency is your your fallback
and
plan.
that type of comment is what makes me believe that we could very easily see. I'm sticking with it. O-line, linebacker, running back. Maybe switch running back and linebacker. Maybe in the set, but I would think that's stupid. Yeah. I'm being real. I think that would be stupid.
Your running back, you get the top running back, probably in the third round or the second best running back. You can't really get a starting linebacker in the third round. The second round you can get.
That's why I said I think it would be stupid, but even I can't count that out.
But young is a key for he said. He's a young, which means free agency is just a fallback plan as the number 2 back. If it's Zeke, if it's Cook, if it's Hunt, it doesn't matter. If it's a Hilaire, it doesn't matter.
Dowdle, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, it is just the number 2 guy who's going to be there to kind of do a specialist thing like pass block or short yardage.
Whoever they draft has to be starter-esque material.
He's got to be a future as well for us. He just can't be a 1 or 2 year guy. He's got to be the next 3 or 4 year guy.
Exactly. So there you go. Anyway,
a little better view of the running back position through the way, not the way we want it, the way they want it, which is what matters, because that's the way it's going to go. It's going to go the way they want, not the way we want. So Stephen Jones, guys, all these lack of moves by the Cowboys, there's some real frustration by us, by the fans, by the fan base. What is Stephen Jones' feeling and his assessment of this frustration that exists with the Cowboy fan base after losing to Green Bay and the way we're handling this offseason?
Yeah, and how triggering the words all in have become.
Again, get ready, baby. 3's a charm. Because he explains his all in. Here's the truth of all in.
Look, I'll forgive him this one because he was asked about it directly.
Well, listen closely, though.
Everybody certainly has the right to feel frustrated. I know what the frustration is. The fact that we haven't had success in the playoffs to their satisfaction. Until we do that, the criticism is going to be there, and we know that's going to be there. But we're going to stick by what we believe will ultimately get us in a championship here for our fans. We don't define all in as what you spend in free agency. It's keeping your core and some of the great players in this league, like Dak, Micah, CD, Trayvon. That's what we define as all in, trying to keep those guys.
So, guys,
we don't define all in as what you spend in free agency.
Guys, I just want to reiterate a couple of those things. We don't define all in as what you spend in free agency. The plan is draft, like we've said, and some minimal free agent guys, which we've been saying. And especially to me, the line he says there, what he called it, what was all in for the Cowboys? He
is just doing what we've already done.
Yeah, they don't define all in as free agency. They define all in as going all in on their own guys.
Signing our guys.
So, and that means
is going all in.
Getting Dak Prescott, Micah, CeeDee Lamb, like they did with Trayvon Diggs last year. But guys, Dak Prescott, Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb, we didn't do fuck with this. Like if that's their priority, they haven't even talked about it. They have barely touched this.
We're all in. We haven't even left home plate, guys.
That's even if that's their. My point is, if that's their definition of all in, then why haven't they started the all in process? Why are they sitting here bullshitting and not talking to agents for the most part? Because they're bullshitting us. They are holding back the all in money instead of doing those deals now, which they know they're going to do. Of CeeDee Lamb extension, that's $13 million. Dak Prescott, if you extend them, that's $30 million. Micah, you don't lose money this year if you extend them. So you actually gain $1 million or $2 million. That means we have money this year now for other players to be signed. Yeah. Now, as soon as those players are off the board, less pressure for them to have to sign any big-name guy because there's not that much money to spend anymore.
Yeah. And Steven added in there as far as those frustrations, saying that, quote, we're very aware. How can you not be aware? It's frustrating for us as well, whether it be Jerry, whether it be myself, the coaching staff, the organization, or the family. No one wants it more than we want it. I know our fans want it too. It's understandable that they're frustrated until we do something about it.
Win this goddamn Super Bowl.
If we go and win 12 games again next year, everyone's still going to be looking at it like, what are you going to do in the playoffs? We understand that's where the bar is and that's where it should be.
Well, I'm glad he understands it, but do something about it. And his all in, again, we got to remember, guys, all in for these motherfuckers, whether we like it or not. All in means sign Dak, sign CD, sign Micah. You got Trayvon Diggs. That's their all in this year.
You know what? We can say they're not all in yet because they haven't done any of those things. They
are far from all in. We are 0 for 3 on those.
We're all out right now.
Yeah, we're all nothing right now.
What's next for our Cowboys?
Well, the future. This is the finale. Hit your last comments and let your last drops of love from above if you want to support the channel anyway.
Follow us anywhere and everywhere at MyCowboysFamily.
Yes.
Extra special shout out, of course, to the representation here. Right?
Sponsor of the week.
The Jeremy Bramlett.
Yes, Bramlett, part of the family here. He's also the gifting champion this week, so appreciate him on both those boards.
Mahalo to Mark Hovsepian.
Yeah,
94 points on that stream.
Mark
boss.
got 94 on the stream boss, and also he's first place on the overall board for Mark Hovsepian. So he's coming for that sponsor of the week, trying to take that from the brand man. But the king of the Cash App is McLovin, and McLovin is still in first place 5 weeks in a row. He's in line for 6 if no one else can catch him. There's a couple people right next to him, though, so we'll see what happens. McLovin, though, currently going for 6 on that side. And second on the overall board behind Mark Hovsepian. He's behind him by a little bit. So we got, again, the After Dark sessions, McLovin may come back and take a lead there on the overall board on Mark. But right now, Mark has a slight lead over the man McLovin. So we'll see how that breaks down. Friday, tomorrow, probably, we'll be a quickie at the very least, but Saturday, Sunday, wrapping it up and crowning some champions. So let's hear how Stephen Jones ended this thing in his press conference.
Of course.
When it came to what is next for the Cowboys with the future going on. Not future in 5 years. What's the future next move going to be? Who are we going to sign, cut, release, extend, re-sign? What's the deal there, Steve Jones?
I don't look at it as the next few weeks. I look at it as all the way up and through the season in terms of how we continue to address this. Just as we'll all see that first negotiating day, it's wild and it's big, big, big dollars. But as you see now, things are calming down. That's where we think you can be efficient and do good things. I think we have in the past, whether it's via trade or whether it's via just a deal like we did yesterday with Kendricks. I'm sure there'll be more players released around the league as people move forward and work within their cap. You never know what you might see that you don't see today. Those are all things that we feel very prepared to make quick decisions on, and I look forward to it.
Now, this is what I wanted to say about this. No, I'll do this part. Yeah, so the big deal to me here is what he's saying here about...
We know what he's actually saying.
He wants to get players that are released. What does that tell you? That means
he wants comp picks.
Right.
Because it's all about the draft.
He don't want comp. He wants to keep... He doesn't want to lose the comp picks
that
we're going to get from the guys that we've lost already. And again, when I go to the list of the free agents that we lost,
picks,
always with Stephen Jones, that's all it's about. Pollard's getting us a comp pick. Dorrance Armstrong is getting us a comp pick. Tyler Biadasz is getting us a comp pick. And as of now, Dante Fowler's going to get us a comp pick. The reason I say this, right now the Cowboys are projected to pick up. I'm sorry. Only the top 3 guys, Pollard, Armstrong, and Biadasz.
Okay.
Pollard's going to project right now, with Armstrong, with the money he got paid, 5th round comp picks, 2 of them next year. So 2 5th rounders at the end of the 5th round. And
going straight to the Super Bowl with those.
And a 6th rounder off of Tyler Biadasz as of this moment. That's projection from over the cap. I just want you to know. So we're getting 3 comp picks. If we signed somebody, if Kendricks wasn't released and he was a free agent, we would lose the Biadasz comp pick. We'd only have 2. So that is what Stephen Jones is telling you guys is we're waiting. We're not going to sign Kareem Hunt or these guys that are going to cost us comp picks. The Cowboys are looking for guys. Derrick Henry would have been costing us a comp pick for the money he wanted or whatever. If we had. So the Cowboys are looking for guys that are being released out of their contracts for cap reasons. So when you're seeing guys getting cut, like Mike Williams or some of these other guys are getting, not that we're going to sign him, but when you see some of these guys getting released for salary cap reasons, now it doesn't affect the draft compensatory picks, and that means there's a chance if he's within our price range, the Cowboys will go grab him, like the Eric Kendricks move. Which, by the way, baby, when he was released, I literally said, this is perfect. We get him the Zimmer. We got the experience. We got a guy who knows the scheme. On and on and on. And I said, and on top of that, Stephen Jones is going to jerk off because he doesn't lose a comp pick for this because Kendricks was released of his contract. Yep. I said this the day it happened. And this is what Stephen Jones literally is looking for.
I had to hit
not
up
in fruition. It came to fruition late. But he's looking for this. This is what they're not looking at all the free agents. They're looking at the released free agents. So now we got to look at nose tackles and real running backs that have been released. And those are the more realistic choices for this front office.
So Xavier Hidalgo said, "Do you think we'll do something tomorrow, guys?" Nope. Nope. Matt Batten said, "We're not getting any great players. The Joneses care about money, not winning." He's saying with the statement, he thinks we're dumb. Juan Carlos said, my frustration isn't that they don't care. I don't actually think that's the problem. I don't think they have enough self-awareness to change.
They're dumb.
They've done the same thing every year for at least 2 decades. It hasn't worked for the football side of things, but it has worked for the business
money.
side of things.
When it
the
works,
priority is clear.
When it works for the money, they think they're doing the right thing. They don't realize they're not helping the football side.
is throwing out there, if MCF can easily manage the cap on this podcast, then they can do it too. They just refuse to do it.
Correct.
Blank. And we fully admit that, one, we're probably wrong about at least a few things, minor details and points because we don't know all the intricacies of everything. But 2, we're just 2 dumbasses sitting on our couch, and you're telling us that we can manage those multi-million dollars in a way. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. Like,
I think it's interesting to note. It's not as hard as he's making it sound.
Exactly.
And the thing is that we not necessarily going to manage these contracts, but we know what he and Jerry are saying is bullshit. That there's no salary cap. There is salary cap. There's $30 to $50 million sitting there. Just they sit in their hands, purposely not making deals, not talking to anybody. They basically admitted this other than Dak for a little bit. And they don't make moves until the big money guys are spent, get a couple cheap guys, and make sure they don't affect our comp picks. That's what this front office is about. That is the truth about All In. That is All In by Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, and the front office. The Will McClays and the Mike McCarthy's, they got to go along with it. The Dan Quinn's, he wanted Bobby Wagner. No Bobby Wagner. He was $6 million. That's too much. So that's the problem. Is the fucking, not just this motherfucker, although he's the guy controlling shit now. It is the goddamn overall circus of the clown show. And that's that.
So I was going to say, I'm all in on wrapping things up here.
Yeah.
I'm going to lose. The end of it.
I'm going to get a heart attack talking about this clown show.
And with that said, guys, again, I know we said it already, but extra special shout out to everybody here chilling, hanging with us. I'm going to do shout outs here in the chat in just a moment. But everybody, thank you so much for joining us here, chilling, hanging with us. We'll be live. We're trying to see if we can go live tomorrow.
It might be tough, but at the very least, it'll be a quickie. Exactly. If any kind of Cowboy players get picked up or any major news comes out, we will be live for a Friday quickie. And yeah, we'll do the shout outs on a Friday. We did it last week. Yep. Maybe we'll be able to do it this week, right, baby? I do want to shout out the people that dropped the love from above tonight, starting with the star level member, Darren Posey, back in the house. Appreciate you in the star level. Dwayne Broussard with the pre-stream drop there. Jason Renfro all over the place, dropping a gifted membership as well. We got the great Stanley Smith dropping a couple cash apps. Brandon James dropping some knowledge in there, helping us out with some of the free agent frenzy going on with other teams. And the man, Mark Hovsepian. As you can see here, he's first place on the overall board over McLovin, and he's currently got 94 points on that Stream Boss. He's coming for that top spot. So again, much love to everybody who dropped the love tonight. There'll probably be a short, chill music video, kind of MCF After Dark tonight. So just subscribe and hit that bell. It might happen, it might not. You just never know. You have to subscribe and hit that bell.
Let's see if your boss allows it.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know if the boss has to let me do it. So we'll see if she will give me the permission. But if she does, then I'll be live, hanging out for a little bit tonight. Hopefully a shorter stream. And
yeah, like this is supposed to be one. Let me.
I knew it was not going to be under 2 hours, baby. I knew it wasn't once I looked at it and checked it earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do the shout outs and wrap this baby up. Let's wrap it up. There's too much to rant about, baby.
Matt Batten, much love to you. And yes, Snuggex, McGriddles with extra salt.
Yeah, that's Jerry's.
You know what? You figured it. That's where all the money's going.
Too much. I think it's the extra salt.
At this point, Jerry, just buy like a few franchises or something. Probably cheaper. Anyway, Frame Rippers, much love. Yeah, we're going all in on something. All right. McLovin, much love. Asmodeus, thanks for repping it here with us. Choctaw Montana 808, you already know.
You know it.
Mike Aldana representing it. Yep, we're picking up leftovers and scraps. We're basically like street dogs.
We might get some interesting strategic good pickups like that, but it's going to be still lower level.
The occasional tasty morsel. We're still eating out of garbage bags.
We just got the best morsel was Eric Hendricks.
Anyway, Seabass,
enjoy.
Much love. Appreciate you, of course. Let me see. We have Drums and Cowboys representing.
Double up.
Dustin Roberts, much love to you. Just trying to make sure I shout everybody out appropriately.
I do want to remind everybody that McLovin was in the house earlier. Freedom First was first tonight. Him out. Yeah, no, I'm just re-shouting them out again now, for the finale.
So, I think that's everybody here because we've been chatting for a while.
Much love to Skeptical Fan, by the way. I see his comment in there for our last video. He just put the clown show, the 5 clowns down.
Honk, honk.
Yeah, I'm just saying, much love there. Appreciate you, Skeptical Fan, and everybody else in the house. Hit that like, subscribe, and bell. But baby, let everyone know Why do we do what we do here every single night here on My Cowboys Family?
It's that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything. Everything.
Everything, guys. Everything. Win, lose, or draw. Good, bad, or ugly. Here on this channel, here in MCF, we always rep that star over everything. And here on My Cowboys Family for almost 7 years on YouTube. Never forget the number one thing here, now, and forever. As always, go Cowboys! What the fuck was that? Let's get that 6 and beyond. What was that?
You're fucking with you.
Guys, thank you for...
I'm sorry.
Now I'm definitely going live. Guys, thank you for dropping in the comments and your thoughts in the chat, of course, all night long. Can't do that without you guys. Your thoughts about our Dallas Cowboys. And, of course, can't do this for as long. I stress as long as we do it for, not just on a daily, but also for the 6.5, 7 years without the drops of love from above. So thank you for the love and support on that side. But now it is time for all good things to come to an end on a Thursday night. Friday, we'll see. Saturday, we'll be here in the weekend wrapping up all the moves. But for now, baby, before we can drop out and clock out for the night, relock and reload for another show right around the corner, tell everybody what we got to do here at MCF before we drop out for the night.
We got to drop that beat.
You did it again. Thank you all for the little the elf I have here with me.
I'm up past my bedtime. I'm like a little gremlin.
She's bouncing off the walls.
You fed me after midnight.
We got the Goonies here. Wait, the Goonies? No, the Gremlins. The Gremlins. Yeah, I don't know why I'm all over the place. Thank you all again for rocking it with us. The Gremlin here, the wife, and myself all night long as we wrap up all day of news, info, and updates on our Dallas Cowboys. A big wrap up right here on another Cowboys chat on MCF, guys. So thank you on that. Of course, we heard from Stephen Jones and this big fucking corny thumbs up and what he had to say. It hurt. It's the truth, I guess. It's their team, and that truth hurts. So Zimmer's happy we got Kendricks in the house. We're all happy that we got CJ Goodwin back in the house on special teams, and Jordan Lewis definitely helping. Right now, the starting cornerbacks, probably more depth if we re-sign another outside corner. We talked about it all and more here, My Cowboys Family. Of course, here on MCF, it's always about that navy blue, that silver too, that star over everything. Never, ever dare forget the number one thing right here on My Cowboys Family. Much love to all in the house. We'll see you back here for another one here. Just around the corner. We'll see you tomorrow or Saturday or the weekend. Have a good one. Thank you all. Hit that like button for the stream. Hit that subscribe button for the channel. And hit that notification bell. Put it to all videos so you know when we're going live. We try to do it on the nightly. Thanks again, guys. And also, follow us on Twitter, social media, at My Cowboys Family, Discord. All the information is in our description. If you're watching a replay, make sure you comment below. And never forget, guys, have a great rest of your day. Have a great night. Stay safe, peace, and we'll see you back soon. Never, ever forget. Go Cowboys!